What is going on, everybody? We are back from the dead for a big October special where we're going to be talking a hell of a lot of movies. I'm the BrettMan, and this is Destiny. She is all dressed up for this awesome episode occasion while I am screwing up because my Falls are about to beat Alabama right now. So I'm a nervous wreck. So I will get back in the show rhythm here just in a few seconds once we get that clinch win. But Destiny, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's Saturday, so I can't complain too much.
There you go. Can't complain too much. We got a lot, like a total of 48. I'm sure we'll go quickly on a lot of them, but we will go through it as quickly as possible. Again, with the Halloween special, we got a little bit of maybe I say a 30-minute overrun before I have to pay you $20 for going over. So we're going to respect that. And just in case if anybody's new here from Back from the Dead, what we do is we celebrate the horror movie anniversaries, but we can't do all of October or we will be here pretty much for an entire week. So we decided just to tackle on like the integrals of 5 years. So for this year of 2024, we will focus on years ending in 4 and 9. And then, of course, we're going to celebrate movies that came out last year as well. But before we do that, I want to say hello to the chat. And chat, once we get to like the mid 80s or like after the 80s, that's when I'm going to be spinning the wheel to see who the lucky person who's going to win a $25 gift card of their choosing, just simply mentioning their favorite horror movie on our social media post. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat. We got Chester. What's going on there, Chester? How are you doing? We got Lamantras in the house. We got Zodiac Z. What's going on there, Zodiac Z? We got Rosie, my dear Rosie. Thank you. Like the like button. Or yeah, hit the like button. Do that. Absolutely. Helps out with the channel. But Rosie, here are all your roses. You deserve each and every single one of them. Let's see here. Who else we got in here? Y'all talking amongst yourselves. Raymond, and what's going on there, Raymond? How are you doing? We got Sergeant Shitty. What's going on there, Sergeant Shitty? How are you doing? We got Ashton's in the house. What's going on there, Ashton? We got Brendan the Beldome. Long time no see, my friend. Hopefully all is well, and we hope you can hang out with us for a good bit tonight. And of course, Brother Fluff being a member for 19 months. Awesome, dude. Saying the next time you two sissies run from Florida during a hurricane, I am going with you. Well, here's the problem. One of us is going to have to take you. You can't go in both directions. So, would you take Brother Fluff?
Yeah. I mean, we can all have a sleepover at my house like we had to. So why not? Let's just one more, you know?
Hey, exactly. So, Brother Fluff, thank you so much for 19 months of being a committed good real hunter. So, with that in mind, I think it's right to play a little super chat.
Investors. Where do we find investors?
Right there.
Oh, hello, Belchers. Just having one of our money fights.
Having a classic old money fight. So, thank you so much there, Brother Fluff. Who else we got in here in the chat? We got Gene. What's going on there, Gene? How are you doing? We got Brendan the Beldome, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, my friend, saying the Salem Slot remake ruled. Destiny, any thoughts about the Salem Slot remake?
You know, for me, I don't think it ruled, but I did enjoy it. I was really enjoying it, like, because I had started it one morning before work, and I only watched 30 minutes of it, so I kind of, like, broke it down into, like, a few watches. Mm-hmm. I was really enjoying that first 30 minutes. I thought it was great, and I know it was originally 3 hours long, and I would love to see that, because I feel like
parts that they were missing.
It just started to, like, boom, 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 and if you've seen the miniseries, I feel like that's a little bit too long, and like the pacing of that's a little bit too slow. Then I feel like this one was too fast, and so I feel like there needs to be a good middle ground. I'm a big fan of Lewis Pullman. He's in Day at Night, and he's in Top Gun Maverick, so there's that as well. So I was really happy to see him kind of be like the main character of this. I love seeing him, you know, in another horror movie. I thought he was great. I did not like the look of the vampire, you know.
kind of like had like the headlights like looking like from a car. That's what I thought the henchman vampires looked good with the eyes, but the main
Yeah,
one, yeah, I was like, what the hell are they doing?
I don't know his name, but he's in like the Unbreakable, and he was in Glass, and he's in the Last House on the Left remake. The Gravedigger in Salem's Lot.
Yes.
I thought he was really good. I didn't know he was in it, so that was a really cool surprise. So there was like a lot of parts about this one I really did like. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars, so I did enjoy it. I just feel like it could have been better. And the CGI, it's just like when you watch the original or like the miniseries, which I just watched recently for the first time, looks so amazing in its practical effects and it looks incredible. And then you watch this and you're just like, so I feel like also if they would have stuck to, I'm sure it was like a mixture of practical and CGI, but the CGI enhancements were terrible. Yeah. So, I mean, I wish they would have focused on just like strictly practical. I think that would have helped out a lot as well. Yeah. But there were some cool moments, I thought. There was a whole scene with projector screen. Pretty cool. So, yeah, there was stuff I liked, but there was some stuff I was just like, no, you're falling into that category of like those remakes, the Stephen King remakes. And I'm just like, besides it, 2017. I think that one's great. But yeah, so parts I didn't like, but parts I did enjoy. So yeah. And you know, if you thought it ruled, I don't blame you. You know, it was fun.
Hey, and I'm glad you think it ruled too. And I know just the last note, because I kind of agree with most of the same things that you just said, but the like the Black Lady Doctor, like she's been in a lot of movies as well, like Annabelle, which we'll talk about tonight. I thought she was really well done too, or she did the best she could with what she was given to do.
She's also in Desperate Housewives.
Which again, I got it on my list, so I am ready to go.
Yeah, I liked her, and I liked the love interest as well. Like, I liked the characters for like what they were given. I don't think anyone was necessarily stand out, like, you know, amazing performances. I thought everyone was fine for what they were given.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. Like, I agree with you. But Brandon, $2 super chat. We gotta get you a super chat video, so let's do this one.
Well, shit, he may have some money. We already committed murder. We might as well rob his ass.
I'll take the credit cards.
I want the jewelry.
I'm gonna take his drawers.
There we go. So thank you, Brandon, so much for the $2 super chat. So let's quickly get for these people, like the rest of the people who are joining us today. We got Sebastian. What's going on there, Sebastian? How are you doing? I don't want to make sure I miss anybody. I don't want to be that asshole. Oh, there you. We got Gavin. What's going on there, Gavin? How are you doing? With a $10 super chat, dude. Gavin, thank you so much. Which, hey, I promise, Gavin, in the winter or the spring months, I am going to dive into the Italian gelato with all the flavors of ice cream, and Gavin's going to help me out with that. So, but $10 saying spooky season super chat. Dude, thank you so much. And the Tennessee Volunteers just won, so we got to celebrate with another super chat.
Investors. Where do we find investors?
Right there.
Oh, hello, Belchers. Just having one of our money fights.
So, Gavin, dude, thank you so much for that. And that is all we got for the people who joined. If any more people join, we will get to them. So let's go to the very first category if you are ready. Perfect. All right, let's see here. I got to scroll to the top because I'm doing things a little differently on the Canvas StreamYard department. So let's go ahead. Before we hit the 70s, I had one from 1959. This is, we're going to go get in a little bit of a zone here. A Twilight Zone, because Twilight Zone, the original series, was released on October the 2nd of 1959. It premiered, and phenomenal numbers all around. And if you're curious about the series, I think according to Just Watch, I think at least 2 seasons, I think, are on like Netflix and stuff like that. But Paramount's the main one you need to go to if you want to check out the Twilight Zone. I unfortunately have not dived into that zone yet. But Destiny, have you dived into the Twilight Zone?
No, I have not.
Any interest?
Yeah, at some point I wanted to. I know I have like a couple of like episodes, like a little bit, but that's like it. I've never seen anything for it, like at all.
Not even the remake of it, like with Jordan Peele too.
What about it?
I was like, you haven't even seen that one either.
No, I haven't seen anything for it for Twilight Zone at all.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, don't really
All
care
right.
to see the movie either. So
Yeah, no, the movie can go fuck off, and if you know,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So,
But
I
the show,
agree.
yeah, I do see it all the time on Paramount because it's always like right next to Twin Peaks. So I do see it a lot, and I'm just like, maybe at some point I will. But
But
yeah,
you're gonna keep selecting Twin Peaks, though.
yes.
I do not blame you at all. So with that, it's the only thing I had anything below the 70s. Did you have anything below the 70s?
No.
Alrighty, so that's great. So let's go ahead and oh nope, that's not the button I meant to hit. So let's dive into 1974, and we're gonna throw some big hitters at you, but we'll take it one at a time to pay their respects. The first one we got is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, released on October the 11th of 1974, the original. So if you want to celebrate a big anniversary for this movie, you can stream it on Prime, Peacock, or even Tubi. Or if your theater is showing it, like luckily for my theater, it was showing it. I highly suggest showing it on or watching it on the big screen. So, Destiny, your thoughts about the classic of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I mean, this is a classic for a reason. I think it's great. I did rewatch it this year because it is quite short. It's literally like 80 minutes or like 83 minutes, something like that. So it goes by pretty fast. Like I know some scenes it feels like excruciating, but like it does fly by. I think I have the poster right here behind me. I freaking love the poster for this film. I think it's amazing. That's why I have it. Because it's not like one of my favorites, I wouldn't say, and I think it's just because I don't find it that like rewatchable. Before watching it this year, I hadn't seen it since like 2016, so it's been a while. But I do enjoy it. It's just not one that I find myself wanting to go back to all that often. So yeah, not my favorite classic movie, but I do think it is great for a reason. And I have not visited any of the locations, even though it's like.
Oh,
in-
you got to. I'm shocked you haven't yet.
Well, like I don't know if I want to do it for my birthday or not, but I do want to go to the gas station because it's only like 2.5 hours away from me. Like that's literally.
Oh, that's not bad at all. You can make a day out of that.
Yeah, so that is something I want to do. We talked about maybe doing it for my birthday, taking like a little road trip. I'm not sure yet, but I want to do it at some point, especially soon. Because you just have to. I think it would be so cool. So yeah, I enjoy it a lot. I think it's great. Classic for a reason.
No, absolutely a classic. Again, I got a chance to watch it on the big screen, and it's just, yeah, it's just the thing with this movie for me is just how disturbing this movie can truly be. Like, especially for the time of the 70s, where the 70s just didn't have like pretty much the mentality of horror movies of zero fucks given. They went to places that they normally wouldn't go to. Yeah, good luck trying to get to it today, especially with some of the horror film, like kind of like the generation we're growing up in now. Which I'm shocked that most people are loving Terrifier 3, like because Terrifier 3 is just taking everything. But Terrifier 3 would have easily rivaled Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the 70s with having those vibes. But yeah, with Leatherface, and I'll even be controversial. I think Sally is not a great pop girl because all she does is scream and run. But Franklin still aggravates the hell out of me. So I'm not the biggest fan of Franklin, but I understand why he was important for the movie. But other than that, though, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic and is indeed my favorite in the franchise. Is it your favorite in the franchise?
Yeah, yeah. Also, you say Sally's not a great final girl, but she literally lived.
Mm-hmm. Well, luckily, she luckily lived. I know, sorry. And y'all not gonna like this either, but Sally didn't make the Final Girl tournament, and for the tournament we got on Thursday for best Final Girls of all time in the field of 64. So don't hurt us. Don't hurt us.
Out of 64, you didn't put her on there?
None of us drafted her. Someone did drafted Aaron Hardesty, which is the Jessica Biel version. So
Fuck off.
I know. Well, I didn't draft him, so that I know, disrespect to Sal. I'm sorry, but I can't see. I shot myself in the foot. But
No,
Aaron, you can.
now. He pissed everyone off.
I know, son of a bitch. If
I'm
anybody
sure
leaves,
Sam
I'm
would
to
be.
blame. Aaron Clegg, what's going on there? Aaron, how are you doing, my friend? And I saw another comment up here. I want to get her. There he is. Jamie, what's going on? Saying, Dash, you look adorable.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that because this was kind of last minute.
I know, and I was gonna like get Sam and all that, but I had a lot to do today, so unfortunately I couldn't go by and give me a Sam outfit because I was going to surprise you with Sam, but unfortunately the time got away from me because I am a jerk, and I draft Jessica Biel too. Exactly, Gavin. So exactly. So there you go. And I'm supposed to be
Whatever.
put in the corner for 10 minutes. So while I'm in the corner for 10 minutes, Destiny, you could tackle the next big one that we're going to do. It is Bob Clark's The Black Christmas, the original from 1974. And yes, the American release was for December, and we were going to do it for December, but we got impatient because of all the love that we're experiencing for the fan film It's Me, Billy Chapter 2. So we decided to go ahead and talk about it. The Canadian release was October the 11th of 1974. So Destiny, what do you think about Black Christmas?
I freaking love Black Christmas. This is like one of those movies that I'm always so excited to watch. And Braden and I did watch it in October when he was here because we did watch It's Me, Billy Part 1. Then we watched Part 2. And I was like, damn, we should have watched the original before because it's also the release date. You know, that's why it was released today. I was like, we should have just watched it. And so we watched it afterwards. And plus, like, it's one of those movies that I want to watch like on December 1st, but I wait until Braden and I can watch it in person. And so we went ahead and watched in person then. And now that way it's kind of out of my system. See, I am not the same way, Sebastian. I can watch Christmas movies in October because we watched all like It's Me, Billy 1 and 2, and then Black Christmas and A Nightmare Before Christmas, which is both, you know, and Terrifier 3. So for 2 days, we watched consecutively like 5 Christmas movies. 4 if you want to count 1 and 2 as one. So we did a lot of Christmas movies. I love it. I just love this whole like time of the year, the end of the year. So like all the holidays kind of start like going together for me for one. So yeah, it was great though. I love Black Christmas. I know I kind of got on a tangent, but I think it's wonderful. And it's just one, like I said, I'm always so excited to watch it. I love Jess. I love the subtext throughout the film. I think Billy is terrifying, even though like we have no idea really who he is. Which I mean, we kind of do. He does give us, you know, throughout his like freakouts, you kind of get a little bit of an idea, but you don't know what he really looks like. It's just, and the Christmas vibes are so good, and it just looks so great. Like there's something about it that just, it's, you can definitely tell it's 70s. It feels 70s, but it feels just like, I don't know, perfect. I think this has to be like my top 10 favorites
Of all time.
I think so. It's just like one that, love it. And it's one that I didn't watch until so much later in life, and I wish I would have watched this like a classic like Halloween, because I grew up watching that. I wish it would have been the same way for Black Christmas. Fortunately, it wasn't, but now, you know, I watch it every year, sometimes twice a year. So it's almost better than Halloween. You know, I think in some aspects it is. I think, like, to me, Michael Myers never really scared me. And maybe that's just because, like, I loved Michael Myers so much as a kid. So, like, he never scared me. Maybe Rob Zombie Remake, because he's freaking huge. And I was like, damn, that, he could fuck me up. That is a little bit scary. But Billy, like, I don't know. There's something about, like, the phone calls and everything about it. Like, that's just really unsettling, I think. So, yeah. I do think it's, like, neck and neck with Halloween. If not, you know, maybe a little better.
Yeah, I think the only reason for Halloween I will up it over Black Christmas at this point is just because of the musical score of Halloween and how classic it is and how it completely changed the movie Halloween forever. And plus, like, you can't get even though Black Christmas with the evil, creepy Christmas songs in the background as they're singing, like, oh, like it just sets you in a cold and eerie mood every freaking time with that opening, especially when the Christmas carols come as Billy is killing Barbara. One of the most iconic scenes, one of my personal favorite scenes in all of horror. Jess Bradford, a great final girl in my opinion. You can bet your ass that she's definitely in the tournament. I promise you, she got drafted pretty damn high. Which I'll make sure you see the bracket after the show because you need to fill out a bracket. Which guys, bracket will be released on Monday for y'all to fill out for a $25 gift card opportunity. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, Black Christmas, I love it, the imagery, but it also has a history thing to it as well. Without Black Christmas, I just don't think Halloween, because Halloween really is like, or kind of like Black Christmas, it's like the horror movie that really just kind of like pushed the door a little bit for slashers, and then Halloween kicked the door down with it, and then Friday the 13th connected the door and then buzzed it back down again. But so Black Christmas is an important slasher Halloween movie or Christmas horror movie as well. And I'm with you. I could watch it at any point. Like I could watch it in February and I could be content because it'll be a good movie to watch on a cold, snowy day. But just the thing I regret most about this movie is just I had the VHS in my hand, and the damn wife sold it without my permission. It was in my hands. I had it, and I'm sad. But anyways, other than that, yeah, Destiny would have slapped the shit out of me if Jess wasn't on that list. I absolutely agreed. And I'm pretty sure I drafted her, but I cannot remember. But we did have somebody else in here too. I wanted to make sure we get them. We got Heather. What's going on there, Heather? Hey, everyone. It's a great day to be a Tennessee Fall. You damn right it is, Heather. And hopefully you have a cigar on you because it's time to light those cigars up if you're a Tennessee Fall fan. Which that's a tradition. Whoever wins that Tennessee Alabama game, all the fans and the football players light a cigar and smoke it. It's a great tradition. So we get to smoke. Which, by the way, yeah, Brad just sent me a picture of him lighting a cigar. So Brad is a happy camper too. So I could embarrass him right now with that picture, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that to him. But let's see here. And did y'all like the first Black Christmas remake? Are you talking about the 2006 one? Because we do not, and I mean we do not talk about the 2019 one. But I did enjoy the 2006 one. Did you, Des?
You know, I did at first. The more I watch it, the more I'm just like, oh God. Like, I don't know what it's the same kind of way I kind of feel about Final Destination 3, which literally came out the same year. Like, I really enjoyed that one as a kid, and then the more I watch it, I'm like, oh, I feel like some of this isn't that great. Like, some of the dialogue is very bad. Like, it's definitely a 2000s remake. It has the mean-spiritedness of a 2000s remake. It's gross. Like, really gross. Like, what the fuck am I watching? Kind of gross. Even worse than that. And so there's, like, a lot that I'm like, oh, I wish I would not have done that. But I like the cast a lot. It's so, like, of the time. I love the Christmas vibes. It's almost, like, too much at times. Like, the blinking lights are, like, a lot. But there's Christmas, like, head to toe in this movie, which I do love. So, you know, it's one that, even though it's not my favorite, and I feel like it almost gets worse for me each watch, I will continue to watch it every year because it has just the vibes. And so I'm like, whatever. It'll be like a background movie just so I can like watch, like look at it, but not really pay attention to it because I don't like a lot of the decisions, but I love the way it looks. So, yeah. I don't think it's great, but you know.
Yeah, I hate this movie, but I'm also going to watch this movie. I love that. I'm going to remember that one. I've only seen it once. The main thing I liked about it was just the female cast they had for the movie was like very epic for its time. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Katie Cassidy was in it, and like know I'm missing one. Is Catherine Isabel in that one?
No, it has
I feel like she should have been in that one.
it has Gretchen from Mean Girls in it.
Yes.
It has another girl that's in Final Destination 3. It has, another girl, I don't remember her name, but she's also very recognizable as well. Like, I can picture all of them. So yeah, a lot of recognizable faces in it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sebastian says, I didn't see the 2019 one yet, but I heard I should avoid it. Yes, avoid it at all costs. That movie is just freaking just disrespects Black Christmas because it just takes the name of it. It just does its own freaking thing without like any homages. And it also steals the scene from The Exorcist 3. So yeah, fuck Black Christmas 2019. So let's see.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, I'm just telling you right now, absolutely do not watch it. It is a complete waste of time.
I might watch it.
Damn it.
I feel like out of anyone, I feel like I would probably be the one that would enjoy it more.
If you do, I'm just watch out. Let's see here. Okay, we got 2 more people. We got Blu-ray. What's going on there, Blu-ray? How are you doing? And we got Eli. What's going on there, Eli? How are you doing? Thank you for hopping in with us. And was that all that you want to say about Texas Chainsaw and Black Christmas?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Oh, you good? So, all right. And that is all I have from 1974. Did you have anything else from 1974?
Nope.
Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and move on along here to 1979 with 2. I'm just going to show both movies and we'll just talk about it if you want to talk about it. Unfortunately for me, I've not seen either of these 2. So this might be more up to you to see if you've seen them. The first one is Nas Fatu The Vampire. What had a New York City premiere on October the 5th of 1979. And as you can see from all these numbers right here, absolutely a very good horror movie. So that gets me interested to at least watch it. You know what? I might actually watch it before the new Nosferatu movie that comes out in December. And then the other movie is a classic one. Like at least the first 20 minutes of it was classic. It is the original When a Stranger Calls. Was released on not December. See, I got Christmas on my mind now too. So October the 26th of 1979. Okay numbers, all right. Well, Rotten Tomatoes, no, but IMDb kind of saves it, and even Letterboxd tries to save it. So, Destiny, have you seen either of these 2 movies?
I have seen the first 20 minutes of When a Stranger Calls, so I've seen that whole part, but I did not watch the rest of the movie. I just watched the opening on YouTube. Have not seen Nosferatu, but I do know it has Isabella Adjani from it, from Possession.
Nice.
And they did show this on the last drive-in, but it's when they did the double feature of Nosferatu, the original silent film, and then this one. So by the time we made it to this one, I was out.
Asleep.
I was gone. So it is on my watch list, and I do really want to watch it. I've seen pictures of it. It looks beautiful. I absolutely love the cover for it. I think like the kind of, I always call it like the stained glass looking like background. I think it looks so cool.
Yeah, let me pull it up again.
Yeah, like it just looks like I would love to have that like on a window, that just looks like a stained glass piece. I feel like that's so pretty. But yes, I have not seen it, but it is very high on my watch list. And it is streaming. It's on like Peacock or something. I think it is Peacock. I know it is.
Let me show you. Yeah,
Amazon,
there we go.
There you go. So there you go. It's streaming many places. I see it all the time. Just have not actually sat down and watched it. But I'm going to. Hopefully before the end of this year, because I would like to watch it as well.
Yeah, before the new one with Bill Skarsgård and William Dafoe.
Yeah. Very excited for that.
Oh, what was that? Was that like a like screw Bill Skarsgård? I thought you liked Bill Skarsgård.
No, the literal opposite. No.
Oh, really?
Love him.
Oh, okay, okay. No, I was okay. I was about to say I thought you were on the love side, but there we go. Okay, just want to double check that. So you scared me there for a minute. And then Rosie, I think you win one of the comments of the night, so I'll leave this up for a good bit. The parody of When a Stranger Calls is When a Spammer Calls, which that is absolutely terrific. And Rosie, hopefully you are directing it because I would go see it.
Me too.
So there we go. And that is all I have from 1979. Did you have anything else from 1979?
Mm-mm.
Perfect. So far, I am doing a good job. Hopefully, I don't fuck this up. So let's go ahead and dive into 1984. I'm going to show these two movies first, and if you got a comment about them, which I know you actually seen this one today. I saw on Letterboxd as I was putting in my Letterboxd for my particular movie I was watching, and that is The Mutilator. Was released on October the 5th of 1984. Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb don't give it a whole lot of love for it, but Letterboxd tries to do where most of the votes come in at 3, and it's on Tubi if you are interested. And then the second movie is a movie called Body Double, which I see a lot. And from all these numbers too, that just puts me on the watch list for this movie and very high up. But the Mutilator, though, I have seen and honestly don't remember much about it. So that's I just remember it's like, oh, it's just an okay time. Like I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it at the same time. So it's just good to get it off the watch list and all that for classic slasher movies back in the 80s. But I don't see myself revisiting this movie. But what about you, Des? What about The Mutilator? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
Yeah, I like this movie. I mean, I don't think it's great or anything, but I do think it is a fun time. There's literally a song talking about going on a fall break. So it is a fall time movie. That's why I watched it. I started it last night and I fell asleep, so I finished it this morning. So that's why I watched it for this, because it is a fall time movie. Probably want to get that from the vibes. There's really nothing about it that I think screams fall, but that song. So you have to watch it. And I haven't seen it in a while. And I think the first time I watched it on my phone. So my first time watching it on a TV. So
Oh, there you go.
I did enjoy it though. I do like it. I think it's just ridiculous. It's silly. It's pretty bad, but in a good way. And like I've watched the kill count for this multiple times, and just like it was a really like family project in like a small town, like everyone coming together to like make this thing happen. And I think that's just really cute. And so, do I think it's amazing? No. But did everyone come together and make this movie? Yeah. And I think that's pretty cool. So, I think it's worth it, the time, and it's pretty short too. So if you ever just want a cheesy little 80s one-off slasher movie, boom, The Mutilator, and it has a kill in it that is actually so good and like really disturbing. Like when you see it, you're just like, oh my god. So I do think some of the kills are worth it. So yeah, I say check that one out.
Nice. And anything about Body Double?
Haven't seen it. Like Gavin said, it's Brian De Palma, and I've seen it. I think it was in one of the In Search of Darkness documentaries. I feel like that's where I saw more people talking about it. The cover has me very interested in it, so I do want to watch it. It's also pretty high on my watch list. I just don't think I've ever seen it streaming for free. It's always available for rent. I'm like, you're not gonna get me, because I have so many movies I need to watch that are streaming for free. And I'm like, damn it. So eventually I will watch it. Just not probably right now.
And I came close to picking that movie for you, but again, with the whole rent thing, and I just paid a lot of property bills, I couldn't make that happen. So I do apologize for that. But I was like, oh, she does need to watch this. But then I saw another one that was streaming. I'm like, I think she would be okay with this. Hopefully. So we will get to that movie here in a few. And then the other movie I have from 1984, and I don't care what people say, this is a horror movie to me. And plus, Destiny watched this movie for the first time earlier this year, so I definitely want to get to it. And that is Arnold Schwarzenegger's The Terminator, released on October 26th of 1984. As you see by the critics on Rotten Tomatoes, 100% 100%. And that is actually over 80 reviews too. So that is a legit 100%. IMDb 8.1, Letterboxd 3.9. This movie is just incredible scores all around. So Destiny, I will give this to you. What were your thoughts originally the first time you experienced the Terminator?
This one, I mean, it's a classic. Obviously, I needed to watch it at some point. I'm glad I finally did. I thought this one was great. I still think I do. Maybe I prefer this one to part two. I don't know. Part two didn't make me cry though. This one didn't make me cry, but I just love I love the love story in it. I knew that was in this a little bit. I just wasn't expecting it to be so like prevalent, I think, but I really did enjoy it. I love the slash element, the like darker vibes of the movie, but then part two is so much fun. The ending, like I said, I cried. But yeah, this one, and it has some effects that definitely don't hold up, but they're practical. So, it's like, well, it's kind of charming in a way, I think, but God, do they look pretty bad at times. Like, really bad. But still, like, it adds a little something to it. But yeah, it's a classic for sure. I'm glad I finally watched it, and it's definitely one that I'll be watching, I think pretty often just because I've never seen it. And I've only seen it that one time. But yeah, very much enjoyed it.
Yeah, the Terminator is it's awesome in that way. Yeah, and just to let y'all, it's a little bit, it involves with a mirror. That's why I'll let y'all know with that particular scene that she was talking about, with some things don't hold up quite as well in modern times. But yeah, the movie is just absolutely great. I love the movie. I am like the same with you. I actually preferred the original over the T2. I know a lot of people say that T2 is their favorite over the entire Terminator deal. But there's something about that original where it's just a fresh story. You're just learning everything for the first time. Linda Hamilton just knocks it out the park. Michael Biehn knocks it out the park. Just there's so much good in that first Terminator. I felt like in Terminator 2, it's a great movie as well, but I feel like they just turned it from away from horror and made it more action so they could get more people in seats and all that, because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, an action star for its time. But I just kind of still wish it kept its horror elements to it like the original did. So that's why I will always go with the original. So this movie, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I agree with that. Very similar to like Alien and Aliens. I think both movies are great, but one is definitely more horror. The second one is more action packed, and you can't, like, if someone says part two or one is better, you can't argue with that because like they're all so great. So it's like, yeah, that makes sense. It's just literally comes down to like what your vibe is, I guess, which one you lean more towards, because all four of those are fantastic movies.
No, absolutely agree. And I'm still on the same thing. Alien over Aliens, just because I love that horror element to it. Because xenomorphs are supposed to be scary. You can't hide the scariness with all the big action scenes and all that too. Or freaking Bill. Oh my gosh, what's his name? What? Okay, Bill Paxton. Yeah, it's a game over, man. Game over. Like me and Brad
He's
quote
in
that
Terminator.
line.
Not for very long, but he's in Terminator.
Yes, that is very true. I see now. I need to rewatch Terminator. It's been a while. So yeah, that's a great example too. I just love the horror element sides to it versus the action. If it's a full-on action movie, I'm down for it. But if it starts off horror, but then you turn it, I'm not going to enjoy it quite as much than the original. So that's a great point you made. So let's see here. I think we had two more people joined us. I want to say hello to them. We got Gory Tiger. What's going on there, Gory? How are you doing? And we got Davey Death Race in the house. What's going on there, Davey? Saying, hey, everyone. Congrats to your falls, Brett. Thank you so much. I'm not allowed to smoke a cigar, unfortunately, for health reasons. So hopefully every one of my fall brothers and sisters are lighting up their cigars for me. So that is all I have from 1984. Did you have anything else from 1984? Perfect. All right. So let's go over one more year, and then I will spin the wheel. Let's see here. Let's go There we go. We'll go with The Puppet Master. The Puppet Master had a video premiere on October the 12th of 1989. And then this was the first movie, and then it expanded into a franchise of like 10 movies. I am not sure how the hell that happened, especially with an original score like this. So, Desi, have you seen The Puppet Master, or are you even interested in the franchise?
I have seen the first either 2 or 3. I cannot remember if I watched the third one, but I for sure watched the first 2. And I honestly don't remember a whole lot about either of them. I do remember there being this movie is so much more like hornier than I was expecting for a movie about
Wait, did you
puppets.
say hornier?
Yes, because like that's literally like some of their because they're all like sidekick, like I don't know. It's strange. Yeah, and I was just like watching. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. But yeah, I don't think it's. Oh yeah, you want to rub that in my face, Davey? You
Uh-oh.
want to switch me spots? You want to do this so I can be there? Give him a kiss, please.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, they got their big premiere tonight, don't they?
They do, and unfortunately, I couldn't be there because I already planned a trip to Florida for no
Yeah.
fucking reason, really. So
Hey, you and me both. High five. Well, no, that's something not to celebrate because fuck the hurricane. But
yeah, I could have gone on that instead, and it would have
I,
actually worked out.
I
It's all right
know, but
though. Haha.
yeah,
Happy to be here
I know.
streaming. Anyways, yeah, Puppet Master. I didn't think it was bad. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. It was all right. It's not one that I really care to go to, and I really don't care to check out the rest of the franchise. Like, no, I think I'll stick to like what I watched. Barbara Crampton's in it for like a couple minutes, but that's it.
Oh no. That usually when I hear in a horror movie that somebody was only there for like a couple of minutes, that's usually not a good thing.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. Blade is like I think Blade is the coolest one. There's like a leech one that's pretty gross where she
Yeah,
like
that's the one with the top hat with the knife hand, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's like one with like big hands. I don't like that one. He looks weird. He has a small head and big hands. But yeah, there's a few of them. Blade's kind of cool, but yeah, the rest of them are kind of eh.
Yeah, I don't blame you. And I'll get to the first movie, but I'm kind of like with you. I'm only just interested in the first one because if you're like 10 movies in, I'm sure they're not going to get any better. Even if one of them has Darcy, the male girl, in it, and one of them, which I have no clue which one. I want to say she's in 7, if I have to take a guess. But yeah, no interest at the franchise at this time, but I'll at least watch the originals at some point. But from one okay franchise to an iconic franchise, we got to talk about Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, released on October the 13th of 1989. And at this time, the only place you could stream such a movie is on Shudder. But come on now, we're all Halloween fans, so I know a good majority of people have this movie on DVD, Blu-ray, or even on digital. With me on this movie at first, absolutely despised this movie. I despised a particular character in general. I hate the directions that this movie takes with certain characters and situations. But over the years, I'm starting to slowly come around to this movie. Like especially with Tina, I'm starting to appreciate Tina for who she was and the actress. But I'm still not the biggest fan of what they do with Loomis in this one, making them all like freaking deranged and all that, and just taking it out on Jamie. Do not like Jamie being a mute. I'm not a big fan of that. And then most importantly of all, if you change the mask to an ugly mask, and if you change the Dan Myers house, that is where you freaking get on my freaking nerves. But this movie still has cool kills with the garden claw and the scythe. Like those are still phenomenal kills. And then of course the uncle, and then the whole tear and everything. Yeah, that's just one of those things that's like, why? And then, of course, after that, we get the badass chasing between Jamie and Michael. And then, boom, we fixed it a little bit. So this is just a back and forth relationship movie with me. But at the time, I just like it enough where I'll always add it to my Halloween rotation. Or just like to watch it when I'm watching the Halloween franchise. But what about you? How do you feel about Halloween 5?
You know, Brandon and I, we recently rewatched this because I'm watching like all the Halloween movies, you know. And this is the first time I've actually watched them in order. I mean, I'm not watching um them like consecutively, but I'm watching you know, each movie. So we got to 5. And 4 and 5, I would say I probably watched the most growing up. And I said it many times, and it's because there was a little final girl. I was a little girl, so I always thought it was so cool to see a horror movie that was based around, you know, not only Michael Myers, who was my favorite, also a little girl. Like, that was so cool to me because I could really see myself in this character. Because I had, like, probably, I don't think I'd ever seen that before. So I went back to 4 and 5 a lot, and I didn't realize 5 was a bad movie. I also didn't realize Jaws 3D was a bad movie, or The Revenge was a bad movie. And it's just because, like, it was a Halloween movie, and so I watched it. Like, I didn't care. If it was a part of the franchise I loved, I'm watching it, and I love it. And so I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. Like, going back and, like, watching it, I don't think it's that great. A lot of decisions were shitty, questionable, just half-baked, like, you know. But also, I do think there's a lot of cool, like, vibes to it, you know. Like, people say it's, like, the Giallo Halloween movie, and it does have some of those vibes to it, which now that I'm older and kind of know that, I'm like, oh, I can kind of appreciate that. It's kind of cool. There's some stuff I do think is a little bit, you know, interesting, but so many decisions were just awful. So it's a love hate. I don't hate it as much as many people do, and I've always liked Tina because I was not sorry, Gavin. It's there. Watch it again. I always liked Tina, mainly because I was not like Tina whatsoever. I'm very quiet, reserved, and especially as a kid, because I was also like super just shy. So I love Tina because she was always like so out there, and I was also the oldest sibling, and so I always wish like I had an older sibling and like could hang out with their friends. Instead, I had aunts, and so I'd hang out with their friends instead. So it was kind of like a you know, relationship like that. So I don't think Rachel should have died. I hate that. A horrible, horrible decision. But yeah, sorry, shitty, horrible,
Candy
terrible.
corn.
I'll refrain from saying shitty, but yeah, bad decisions. But I do think some good ones, and I will always go back and watch it because I watched it as a kid and I really enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, and plus, I bet too you kind of related to Jamie Lloyd too, like kind of like what you were saying about you kind of wish you had like elder siblings and like just to hang out, like kind of like what Jamie was experiencing through. So I could see you easily liking Halloween 5. But yes, Rachel, that was the biggest crime. I would probably say it's one of the top 3 biggest crimes of the entire franchise was killing off Rachel.
Yeah, absolutely insane, wild decision. And they said, you know, to make it seem like no one's safe. Shut up.
Yeah.
Don't say that to me.
No,
Because
like you don't do that to the characters we love. You only do that to like a character you build up, and we're like, nah, I don't care if this guy goes.
yeah, and if you listen to Podmortem's episode on this, they really talk about like what they could have done to like really rework it. I'm like, you know, that would have been so much better. For one, having the mom or the foster mom actually die, because that would have definitely shown that no one's safe, you know? But instead she lives and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just think so much of it was just stupid. Yeah. But I still kind of like it. I don't know. I still give it 3 stars, even though it's not a 3-star movie, like at all. I don't think.
No, like I give it a 3-star as well.
1
So
star is just nostalgia.
yeah, but we all know what happens when you put a movie in 3 stars. If it's you and me, it kind of gets forgotten. But yeah, but except for this one, this was like one of the few occasions where I will never forget this movie. But yeah, so that is Halloween 5. Let's see here. What did you say here, Sergeant Shitty? Whose death was a greater insult, Rachel in 5 or Laurie in Resurrection?
Laurie in Resurrection, because Laurie, we only had 1 movie with Tina, but with Laurie, we had, you know, many movies at this
Many
point.
movies, and she was the person. Well, second person.
Yeah, so that was just kind of crazy, I think.
No, I definitely agree with that. So good question there, Shitty. And then I have one more from 1989, and this is the movie I had you pick to watch. And yes, what we do as well for Back from the Dead is if there's a certain movie that the other has not watched, we pick the movie for that person to watch. So Destiny, this is your first time watch for Shocker of 1989, released on October 27th. Rotten Tomatoes doesn't do it much credit, but IMDb and Letterboxd tried to save it. And this movie I definitely remember this movie for the first time through a documentary we will talk about later with In Search of Darkness Part 1. That's where I got introduced, at least to the poster here. And you could just say it's shocking. Just want to get my terrible pun out of the way. But Destiny, what about you? This is the movie I had picked for you. What did you think about The Shocker?
I thought it was all right. I thought it was pretty weird, pretty wacky. It was very like all over the place, especially at the end. There's like a full like fight scene. It was just like maybe if I watched this one whenever I was younger, I would have really like been like, oh, this is so cool. But I was like watching, I was like, what's happening? But that being said, like I still enjoyed it. There's still a lot to like about it, and it did not go in the direction like at all I was thinking. It also is Nightmare on Elm Street-esque. I mean, it is Wes Craven, so I mean, it's not that surprising. I don't think it does have a great soundtrack. Gory, I agree with that. Some fun visuals, some fun gore. You know, it's 80s. It's very 80s, and it's just like it was fun to see because there's still so many. There's still quite a bit of Wes Craven movies I have not seen. So, you know, I'm glad I watched it because I want to work through all of them. It was just very, just like, I don't know, seeing something like Nightmare on Elm Street, which does have like goofy, silly moments, but is, I would think, ultimately more serious. This is very much the same, I would say. Like, there's some serious parts of this movie where I was like, oh my God, I was not expecting that. But then it's so silly. So, yeah. It's all over the place, but I still think Nightmare on Elm Street, like narratively, is more straightforward. This one is not, I don't think. So, yeah. And I think it didn't need to be that long. It could have been cut down.
How long was it?
I don't even remember. Too long.
Too long.
It was too long.
And
I was like, this movie's still going. I feel like it ended so many times, but it was just still going.
What did you give it out of 5?
3.
3. Oh, the dreaded 3.
It's an hour and 15 minutes.
2 hours and 15
No,
minutes?
an hour and 50 minutes.
Hour 50. Okay, yeah, even for that, like, because that just seems to me like a movie called The Shocker, and what it does should have easily been in like 90 minutes.
But also the fact it's called Shocker, like, obviously, like, that part is important, but, like, that's not the main, I don't know, I was just like, that's what it's called, and it's, oh, okay, like, I don't know, it was just pretty strange, but, like, I'd watch it again.
I left the theater going, what did I just watch? My brothers loved it, though. That was for Shocker, right, Jamie?
Yeah,
it
that
was.
makes
Okay.
sense. What did I just watch? That's kind of how I felt. You know what? I'm going to rewatch Hellraiser 3 this month, Gavin, so.
There we go. And I need to watch that one, too.
I think maybe I'll, give it higher than a 3 this time. Maybe it'll be like a 3.5.
3.
Because I did not recently. I rewatched Hellraiser 1 and 2 this year, so I do need to watch the third one again.
Hey, maybe for November, right before you get to Christmas season. So let's see here. I just want to double check. I think we were all good there. And that was the last one I had from 89. Did you have anything else from 89?
Mm-mm.
Perfect. And before we go to 1994, we hit the 90s section. I think right now would be a good time to do quickly the contest wheel spin here. We got about 15 people that entered that mentioned their favorite horror movie. So when your name is drawn, I'll show you your name and your favorite horror movie that you signed up for. So that's it. I will let you know, or you tell me when to hit the spin button.
Yeah.
Who we got? Oh, so close to Jason. But Austin, you are the winner. So his favorite horror
Dr.
movie of all
Sleep.
time was Doctor Sleep.
Great pick. Great
Yeah,
movie.
that's an
Love it.
excellent pick, which is funny because the person next to him is Jason, who picked The Shining. So that was
Oh my
very,
God.
so that was very, very close. And speaking of Austin, yeah, I saw you in the chat too. What's going on there, Austin?
Woo!
How are you doing? Yeah, congratulations.
Winner,
I
winner.
will message you after the show to see what $25 gift card of your choosing you would like to have. That can be Amazon, that could be Chick-fil-A, whatever your heart desires. But I know most horror fans, they're going or YouTubers, they're going to pick the Amazon card. But you let me know and I will make it happen. Oh, and it's rigged by Brad. No, I'll tell you this: it's not rigged by Brad, because if it was Brad, he would have had made sure it would have hit The Shining, because he is a Shining fan more than Doctor Sleep. Even though for me, I'm more Doctor Sleep than The Shining now. I absolutely adore Doctor Sleep. So that is our spinning the wheel. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for signing up for it, and then we will try again next year. So let's dive into 94 here. I got two movies. I'll go ahead and get this one out of the way. This is Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings. Don't even ask me probably why they put that subtitle in there, but it had a video premiere on October the 19th of 1994. As you can tell from these numbers, not very good. And if you're curious about it or a fan of the franchise, it is available to rent for $3.99. I have not seen this movie. I have no interest in seeing the rest of these movies within this franchise. Just go ahead and get me the original, though I am not actually the biggest fan of the original, but I respect it enough for the practical effectiveness and the monster itself. So, Destiny, any interest in the second one?
No, I'm like you. I'm like indifferent, I would say, on the original. Leaning more towards like I like it somewhat, but like it's just all right. I remember the first time, because I've only seen it twice, and I did watch it last month. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, that was okay. And this time I was like, I'm gonna give it another chance. Try it again. And I had the same thought. I was just like, that's all right. It is like I do find the relationship between Lance Hendrickson and like his son in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I find them to be so cute, so endearing, so sweet. So there's some shocking moments. It's just like I feel like all the in between stuff, it's just like whatever. But like you said, the effects of Pumpkinhead I think are great.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like the other characters are shitty, which like they're supposed to. Most of them are supposed to be shitty, like that is their character. But even the ones that aren't, like I just feel like no one's. Like I just don't care about any of them. Like no one's giving me anything to actually like care about. So yeah, the only ones I care about are Lance Hendrickson, because it's Lance Hendrickson and he's amazing. And his son, like that's all like. Oh, and their dog, because it's so cute.
Yeah, I was like, don't forget the dog. And
it has some random. Oh, it has, who is it from Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, and he's also in Society. He plays Pinocchio in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. He's in this. I just never realized that until this watch. I was like, oh my god, that's literally that guy. He plays like one of the kids. But yeah, he's also in Society. He wears like the glasses in Society. He's like one of the rich guys. Yeah, he's in this. If that does anything for you, probably not. But it's interesting. That's the reason to watch it, and the effect. Yeah. Besides that, whatever. Again, 3 out of 5. So it's just in that same, meh.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely no. Can't even say it better myself. Les Hendrickson and the kid and the dog are the main. Oh, and the practical effect of Pumpkinhead are the main reason to watch the first one. The other ones, if you want to dive into them, that is your priority. So let's see here. Okay, no, we are good there. Billy Warlock, was that the name?
No, because that's the main character from Society. He's like the one that he's like on the other side, like not the popular one with the fight, but he's like a different character. That the one that's running for class president that he calls like. Billy Warlock's character calls him like a nerd or like a dork in front of everyone. They start laughing at him. That guy.
Oh, yeah.
dead. Yeah. He wears glasses. His hair's kind of like back a little. I don't know. He looks like a doll, so it makes sense. He plays a doll in Silent Night Deadly. I guess spoiler alert for that movie, but like whatever. But
Hey,
yeah,
we're saving you. But
yeah, yeah. But yeah, he's in it.
there you go. And let's see here. We got the Hatchet Boys. What's going on there, Hatchet Boys? How are you all doing? Hopefully all is going well. And then the other one I had, I know you mentioned A Nightmare on Elm Street. So luckily for you, we got 1994 on October 14th. Wes Craven's new Nightmare was released. And so this is like the comeback tour of, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on her name right now? Not Nancy, Heather Langenkamp, and the Nightmare himself of Freddy Krueger. Wes Craven back. This is like the movie that kind of like jogged so Scream can run. But I love this movie. I thought this was a very interesting approach to take within 6 movies, or at this point 7 movies in the franchise. So for it to go in somewhere completely different, and plus having Wes Craven back in the director's chair was just awesome. Very good kills in this movie. Dylan at times was adorable. Other times she just want to punt the shit out of him for being so creepy. But of course, Heather Langenkamp was the absolute star of this show. I think from an acting standpoint of all of her movies within Nightmare on Elm Street, this was her best performance, in my opinion. I thought she knocked it out of the park. But yeah, this movie is great, and it's actually my favorite Dead Meat episode. When they do the kill counts, this is one of my favorite ones because I thought they informed me very well, and they also did a lot of make fun ofs too, which I thought was fantastic. But what about you? How do you like Wes Craven's new Nightmare?
This one is definitely like, I think just depending on the day, it's probably my second favorite. It's between this and part 2 as my second and third favorite. I very much enjoy this one though. I do agree with Gavin. I don't think some of it aged the best. I do think some of it's a little bit of the 90s, but you know, I like that. I like the 90s. So I'm just like, whatever. Like the whole like fairy tale aspect of it, like I think that part's like, I don't really care for that. But I just care for all like the meta, all like one of my favorite moments of the entire franchise is when Heather Langenkamp turns around and it's the Nightmare house and like you're like, oh my god, like she's back. She's like really in it again. And then I cannot remember her name. Oh, what's her name? Maggie?
Oh.
Is that her name?
Are you talking about the babysitter?
Yeah. The
I am
babysitter or like the nanny. The woman that was in the Scream TV series that's in this. I absolutely love her kill because, you know, it's Tina's kill, but it's showing a different, it's like upping it, I think, or maybe not upping it, but adding something new to like what we've already seen, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, Tracy Middendorf, and she played Julie.
Julie. Maggie. The hell? Anyways, I very much enjoy that scene. I love seeing all the people that like were part of like New Line Cinema in it. You get to see Wes Craven, which he's just so adorable. So it's so cute to see him in it. So yeah, I very much enjoy this movie. I think it's so good. And like you said, it was, you know, Scream before Scream. You know, it's kind of like testing out the waters, and I like it. This was definitely not one I liked as a kid at all. Did not watch it because I just didn't appreciate it. I don't know. I didn't get it. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, holy shit, that was actually really good. I just wasn't sure what they were doing as a kid. I was just like, who the fuck, who cares? Like, where's Freddy at? Also, his hat, not my favorite. Hate the shade of green. Hate it, like with a passion. I wish it was like darker, like a dark green, or just keep it brown or make it black. Like I hate.
But at least the makeup looked good.
Yeah, the makeup's cool, and I don't care for the trench coat either. Not my favorite. Again, I think the glove hand thing is cool with like you see the white part, like with like the bone and everything. That's awesome. But yeah, his hat, no. Everything else though, I think is pretty cool. And like I said, the fairy tale part, like whatever, don't care for that part that much. But everything else, I like. So yeah,
nice.
I like this one a lot. I think it's quite good.
Yeah, and I think I have it as my third favorite. When me and Brad finished the Nightmare, and I re-ranked them on my letterbox. I'm pretty sure I put this as my number 3. With my number 2 being Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and then of course the original. Yeah, I know. I got powers. I can make balloons happen. So I could just make weird shit happen on this channel. So, he should have worn a cowboy hat with the trench coat. Yeah, the thing with the trench coat, it kind of made him look like Sherlock Holmes in
with
a way.
tassels on the hat, like all around. It's green and red, each one, like they're beaded tassels, and he like
Oh, that would be so cool.
jingles them. Dang, this is a really good idea. Someone needs to write this down.
Okay, well, you could write it down because we need you to direct that. So.
Oh, okay. You got it.
Yes, there we go. Then let's see here. Ben Grimm, I didn't want to forget about you. He said that loved the talk show segment. Yeah, that is one of the highlights of the movie as well, just to seeing Freddy Krueger back.
Yeah, I do like that scene a lot too. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. And I want to get back to this, Gavin. You said kids shouldn't be allowed to act. I actually disagree with you. It's just you have to have the right kid actor. For example, Alex Vincent in the second one, not the first one. The first one is just kind of out there, but it's still adorable because he's a kid. But the second one, he was phenomenal. He fixed everything. Abra Stone and Dr. Sleep, she was a child actress. She was freaking awesome. Oh, and the kid that screamed while getting murdered. That kid was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually
Harris in Halloween 4 and 5. She's great. She's so good. So yeah. I do think it depends on the kid. Because I do think some give like Haunted of Hill House. All of them. I'll just say all of them. All those kids, I think, are great actors and actresses, and some of them are so little, but they're so good. But yeah, some of the acting in it can be, not great.
Oh, okay, Gavin. I was about to say, I was like, that was a joke, but when they are too young, they are unbearable. Just cast older kids that look young. I could see it sometimes that way.
I mean, she was like 10 or 11, but she played a little bit younger, but if you're small, you can, like, I was a small kid. I'm still, so I could have definitely, been like, I'm 6, but I was probably like 10. I think I could have done it. Yeah. Some of them, yeah. Some kids, they just really know how to get under your skin.
Oh, yeah. Especially Little Gage, because he was just creepy. Gavin,
I'm gonna knock you out.
Oh, okay, Gavin, you need to be in the corner for 10 minutes.
At least 20. Wait, at least 18.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Annabelle Creation had great kid acting. Oh, and of course Jodie King, who was the girl that got really scared in that scene in The Conjuring where she was just crying in her bed. That one is one of my all-time favorites.
I just don't know if I like her that much, and I hate saying that. There's just something about her I don't really like that much. But I do like her a lot in that movie. That is my favorite movie of hers. I think it's because she was in like the Kissing Booth movies, and I'm just like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. So is Jacob 40, and I'm like, ugh. And I've never even seen those, but I don't know. I'm like, ugh. Has anyone seen the Kissing Booth in this chat? Let me know. And if so, what did you think? I can't imagine a lot have. If anyone has, that'd be. I would like to know.
So go for it. Kissing Booth. Let us know. Comic section. So
yeah,
that is
I think
all.
There's like 3 of them.
3 of them. So you're expecting 3 of them. Like at least you're expecting 3 likes on Kissing Booth.
Huh?
What would you say? Over or under 3 likes if people respond to that?
No, none.
None.
Maybe one person.
Maybe one. All right. So who's going to be that one person with Kissing Booth? But before we go to 99, did you have anything else from 94?
Brandon has seen the Kissing Booth and it was mid.
Ha, there was one. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna display that. I've been to a Kissing Booth. They kept saying it was. Oh my, no, dadgummit. So nothing from 94, right?
Nope.
Okay, just want to make sure because it's about to get dirty in that chat with the kissing booth. So let's go ahead and go 9-9. Let's lighten the mood with a kids movie, with an animated kids movie. One of your favorite animated movies of all time. Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost was released on October the 5th of 1999 with a disappointing score of 50% by the critics. I think that is indeed a crime. So screw the critics on that one. If an IMDb and Letterboxd definitely fixed it. And if you're actually interested, which I'm definitely probably going to check it out here soon, it is on Max right now. And yes, would you consider this a sequel technically? Like kind of like within those lines of the movies they were releasing at the time?
I mean, if you want to, I just consider it all like standalones. Like,
Just standalones.
I mean, sure, but like, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, this is one of my freaking all-time favorites. This is like, oh my god, I watched this one so much as a kid. I was obsessed with the Hex Girls. I literally remember being in like second grade, and I had a black lipstick, and I took my mom's red lipstick, and I would do how Thorn does hers. I mean, I named my cat Thorn literally after this in Halloween 6. But mainly this was the first thing I thought of. Absolutely love this movie. It just takes me like right back to being a kid. And I just feel like the Halloween like fall vibes in this is so great. It's in like Massachusetts. It's not in Salem, but you know, it's near that area, which is one place I want to visit so badly. It's like my number one like dream vacation is going to Salem. And so just like, watching this, like the whole like New England vibes, I've never even been to that area, but I just want to so badly. So I love this movie. I just think it's so great. And it's so short. It flies by again. It goes by so fast. And there's just so much in it that I think is so good. That is so freaking good.
And and even like you did a cosplay of one of the Hex Girl before, didn't you?
Yeah, Thorn.
Yeah, there you go. So technically, she was a Hex Girl for a day there, Brendan.
Yeah, whenever I had red in my hair.
And my girlfriend lives 5 minutes outside of Salem. It's all highways, so I bet you're jealous of her.
Yeah, I want to go. I want to go visit.
And then Salem is too crowded in October, but that's the point. But that's the point.
No, listen, I really wanted to go in October, obviously, because, like, that's, you know. But honestly, I think for the first time I go, I don't want to go in October. Like, I really wanted to,
September.
but it's too crowded. It's way, like, people, like, said, like, the traffic is absolutely insane just to get to, like, right over somewhere. Like, I don't want to deal with that. So people said, like, the springtime, it's, like, really pretty. There's still a lot to do, or like I know there's like Halloween during I think either spring or summer, like they do some sort of thing. So yeah, I might just have to do that, which does suck. Obviously, I want to go, or maybe during Christmas. Depends on how crazy busy it is during Christmas. But yeah, see, that's Gavin saying getting to Salem is impossible when there's traffic, and the traffic is insane. Like people were posting that live in that area saying like, "Do not come." So and I'm gonna trust them. I'm gonna believe them. So I think I'll choose a different time to go so I can actually enjoy it and get to everything I actually want to do. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe one year if I want to, I'll try and just go for it, but not for my first time because I know I'll be so disappointed. I'll probably cry the whole time. So I want to be able to go.
I would think September would be a good time to go, like the month before, as they were trying to set everything up.
Yeah,
wouldn't be a bad month either. But yeah, that would be. I know you always talk about that, and hopefully you can make that happen in the near future.
Yeah, I hope so.
So let's see here. My sister went to Salem for her honeymoon. Oh, so that's awesome there, Raymond. Hopefully your sister had a great time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So let's see here.
Gavin, yeah, right. I'll meet up in Salem. That'd be fun.
Yeah,
not
so you
freaking Florida.
So you could kick his ass.
Oh.
Yeah, so you can kick Gavin's ass. So and then the other one I have in 99 as well. Is the House on Haunted Hill. This is the remake. I was about to say the House on Haunted Hill, like thinking the Netflix one, but this is the remake of the one that we didn't we talk about House on Haunted Hill earlier this year?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. We've gone through so many episodes and so many movies. They all pretty much intertwined at this time. I know we did talk about the original at some point, but this is the remake edition of it. And the only reason that I have seen this movie at this time is the fact that Chad made me watch it for one of my series of the 14 days of new horror movie watches, and he picked this one. And honestly, this is the point where, like, this is like the late 90s, early 2000s, where they experimented with the CGI, and it was dreadful. It was so distracting to me that it really took me out of the movie, which I felt bad because the cast of this movie was really good. But I just felt like the script let them down, the director let them down, the horrible CGI let them down. But the cast themselves, they did the best they could to make this movie entertaining. I think I remember giving it like either a 2 or like a 2.5. I just thought this movie was okay for a one-time viewing. But what about you? Have you seen this movie and did you enjoy it, or did the CGI bother you too?
I watched this one for the first time this year because I do have it on VHS, and I had my VCR set up, and so I watched it, and I thought it was pretty bad. I gave it 2 stars. The CGI is awful. Like you said, the cast is pretty good overall. I just think the storyline is just not great. Like, the storyline of the original movie, I think is so much fun. Like, I think the original is just great. But this one is just so, I don't know, it's bad. And it's not what I can I don't think I'll go back to it. I mean, like I said, I have the VHS, and I'll keep that, cool. But yeah, watching it, no. But it wasn't, I mean, it was fun to laugh at. So maybe if I was ever like, let me watch something bad to laugh at with a group of people. Y'all want to watch this? I mean, I doubt this movie would ever come up, but like maybe. But just sitting there watching it by myself again, no, I'm not doing that. I'll go to the original because the original I think is great and is a classic.
Oh yeah, and that's the one and the thing I remember on that one is I remember you picking that movie for me to watch, even though I pissed you off because I accidentally watched the one with color versus black and white, which I am going to re-watch that one for you in black and white because as I was watching the color one, I was like, God, this movie would have been better in black and white. That was my first comment, and you said, "Did you not watch it in black and white?" I didn't know. Like.
Yeah, I mean, I think if a movie came out in black and white, then you should watch it in black and white. Even if it is colorized, I don't know. I'm so just like, no, I'll stick to the black and white. Because, like, Night of the Living Dead, the originals, like, you can watch the color version. I'm just like, no. Why would you do that? I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever. Some people just don't like watching black and white movies, which, your choice, whatever. But I'm not doing that.
Well, it was just for me. That's the only one I saw at the time. That then, as soon as she said it, I'll look again. And then I found it in black and white. I was like, well, shit, it's too late. But
yeah.
But let's see here. I saw a comment. Chester says, what year was the OG one? It was 1959. So actually, it was earlier this year. We did talk about this movie.
Okay.
So, but again, we've talked about so many movies this year. They all get intertwined.
Yeah. The Haunting, Rosie, if you're talking about the remake, I also watched that this year. Also, I think bad, but I still think better than House on Haunted Hill. I do think Haunting was better, but also pretty bad.
And that is the one I had you watch a couple of months ago.
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah. I was like, why the hell did I watch that? Oh, and I was pissed off because I ended up realizing I have it on VHS, and I think I do have it on DVD because I remember watching it on somewhere when I had to watch it with ads. My TV was messing up, so I had to finish it on my phone. No, it was something else because it had ads, and then I was getting pissed off because I had to finish it on my phone, and then I realized I had it on DVD, and I just completely forgot that I owned it on DVD, and I was like, of course. But yeah, that movie I don't think was great either. But I did read The Haunting of Hill House. And so it was cool to compare the book to the movie. So, even though I haven't watched the original, I do want to watch the original, but that's also like 2 hours long. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
A long movie from the 60s. Usually movies from the 60s are short. Like
Mhm.
50s and 60s, they're usually like short movies. So it's one I still need to watch is the original The Haunting.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of which, we got Chad's here. Smell that? I am not sure what we're smelling there, Chad, but we just pretty much, in a nice way, we shamed your movie of House on Haunted Hill, the remake.
Yeah, it's
So,
not that great.
but what's going on there, Chad? How are you doing? Hopefully, all is going well in your world, my friend. And that is all I had from 99. Did you have anything else from 99?
No, that's it.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and dive into the 2000s here. We're still doing pretty good on time right now. We appreciate you all hanging out with us. Let's go to 2004. And the first thing I will show real quick, and then we'll move on to the two movies, is Ghost Hunters premiered on October the 6th of 2004. And I messed up earlier. Twilight Zone, there's a lot of episodes and seasons you can watch on the streamings, especially Paramount. But Ghost Hunters is like Prime and Netflix. You can only get like the first two seasons for some reason. But other than that, you can't get the other ones. But I have not seen this one. I'm more on the side. I'm a fan of like Paranormal Witnesses and those type of ones. I'm just not as big of to like Ghost Hunters actually. But what about you? Have you seen Ghost Hunters or any interest?
I mean, I'm sure I watched it like if it was on TV. I was a Ghost Adventures kind of girl though. I love Ghost Adventures, even though it was obviously so fake and bad. Loved it though. So if it wasn't Ghost Adventures, I really wasn't watching it. So yeah, no,
No. So
no.
just no, never, be gone.
Yeah, now like I just don't really like. I don't know now. I don't really care about ghost hunting shows like I used to. But like I used to binge. Like I used to like record all the episodes of Ghost Adventures. And I would have like 50 episodes at a time to just sit there and binge Ghost Adventures. I loved it. But yeah, now I just don't really care because like I just think it's all fake. Now I was watching BuzzFeed Unsolved when Ryan and Shane were on BuzzFeed and they had their own ghost hunting show on YouTube and I was watching that and I like that a lot. Which they don't do that anymore. They have like their own sort of thing now on Watcher. But yeah, that on YouTube I liked. So like watching actually like produced shows, even though in a way this was a show, but it was like on YouTube. And also like Shane also like didn't believe he was a skeptic. So it added some like levity to the show to be like, okay, this isn't all like fake. Because he's sitting there like antagonizing like, saying like this is fake. I want something to happen. So it gave it more, I think, seriousness, not just like over the top. Like Zach Bagans, if you ever watch him, it's just like, oh god, he's so cheesy and corny. I still like it though. I don't know why. Still like I don't know. It's so awful, but yeah. So no interest, not really. But if you ever want to watch something, BuzzFeed Unsolved, there's some episodes, even though they don't do them anymore. They're on YouTube, and they're really good, I think. And some of them are kind of spooky, so I actually should watch some of those. I just reminded myself about this show.
Yeah, so you better write it down as it's fresh on your mind so you don't forget.
Yeah. BuzzFeed Unsolved.
BuzzFeed Unsolved. It's someone write it in the chat right now. BuzzFeed Unsolved, so I can write it down and just remind too. So there is the Ghost Hunters. We could go ahead and make them disappear forever, and then let's go into a movie where this terrified. From my understory of my discussion with Braden, this particular movie terrified him a little bit, and that is The Grudge, released on October 22nd of 2004. And I remember this conversation too because he kind of took from The Grudge when he made Sally as well. So The Grudge was released on that. Okay numbers all around. It's available on Peacock. To my surprisement, I have not dived into this movie yet, which I definitely need to because it's during its time that it was kind of, I wouldn't say it's a cult classic, but just for a short period of time, like with that and The Ring, it was very, very popular with those particular movies. And also, they also took away from, the Japanese version of those movies and made American remakes with them. But Destiny, have you seen The Grudge?
Yeah, this was one that we watched quite a bit as a kid at my dad's house, and I watched it for the first time this year in like what felt like forever. And I almost couldn't remember anything about it except it has Sarah Michelle Gellar. Obviously, I remember that, and I remember the sound, like the noise. I used to do that all the time. Brayden is terrified of this movie. Like, it's so funny. He's so like. Sometimes I think like when he tells me things, I'm like, we were both kids, but like I swear, like I didn't think half the shit he thought. Like the whole like gushers thing and stuff. Like I know one time I had a crazy thought I said of me like possibly turning into like a cat, but that's like because someone like an adult told me that, so it like really freaked me out, because it's an adult saying it. But like the airhead, like the gushers is freaking crazy, and then like him like with this movie, like his whole story with it is insane. I need to incorporate this in a joke somehow. Oh, actually, so I did one time. I was at his house and he was in the bathroom, and so I was on the counter in the bathroom with my hair covering my face, and I just sat there and I waited for him. And I got him. I did scare him. It was really funny.
That's so evil.
I'm gonna keep getting him back because he got me to get on another fucking roller coaster after saying it wasn't that bad, and it was actually really fucking scary. It was terrifying.
The Egyptian?
Huh?
Was that the Egyptian one, or was that like another one? I'm trying to remember.
No, not that one. He got me on another one at the Hagrid's fucking bicycle bullshit.
Oh, yes.
He got me on that one because he said it wasn't that scary, and it actually was really scary, and I cried, and I wanted to fight him, but I didn't because I'm a good person, but I'm very angry with him. So I'm going to fucking get him back somehow. I'm going to figure it out. But The Grudge, rewatching it this year, I was like, oh, it's not that great, unfortunately. Well, thank you, but I'm going to knock him out. It's not that great. It does have Sarah Palmer, Laura Palmer's mom from Twin Peaks. She does play the older woman in this. I did not remember that. So going back and watching it, I was like, holy shit, that's so cool. It does still have some effective moments, I think, some like creepy moments. But yeah, overall, I don't think the story is like that wonderful. And I have not seen the original for this one yet, unfortunately, even though I do want to. Definitely going to at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what Gavin says. Just always watch the Japanese ones because they do horror so much better than us. And I feel like other cultures do horror better than us for most occasions. Not all occasions, but most occasions. Let's see here. Checking now. Anything else about The Grudge?
No.
No, perfect. Let's see. Oh, Ju-on actually scared me once or twice. Was that the name of it? Because I thought Ju-on was The Ring.
The Ring is Ringo.
Oh, Okay, yeah, Ringo, and yeah, Ju-on is The Grudge. Okay, so Ashton, you're right. I'll shut up. Sorry. So, all right. And the other one I have for 2004, the one that supposedly created torture porn. It is The Saw. The original came out on October 29th of 2004. This is on Max and Peacock right now if you want to see where it all started. And the audience from Rotten Tomatoes loved it. IMDb, Letterboxd, they all loved it too. Critics, not as big of a fan of this particular movie, so fuck them, because I think this movie was absolutely great because it was such a different idea in the horror genre at that time. And plus just simplifying the story and just having two people share a room and you have no idea what's going on. And as the movie progresses, you're like with the characters, you slowly and with the clues, you are figuring out what's going on. And I just love being on a long adventure of any movie. Just take me along for that roller coaster ride. And then, of course, that third act when shit gets crazy and that score kicks in of Hello Zeb. Which is absolutely epic, especially if you can get a chance to see it at the big screen and just Hello Seb. Absolutely epic. And then just the twist among itself is one of the best twists in all of horror. So the Saw franchise, like the franchise as a whole, I think they're good for the most part. Like they have their enjoyable qualities, some better than others, but the original one will always forever be my favorite. So what do you think about the original? And is it your favorite in the Saw franchise?
You know, I was definitely a Saw 2 person, but maybe I'll go with Saw just because it has Lee Winnell in it
Mm-hmm.
as
Of
Adam.
course. And his amazing acting skills.
They're so great. I mean, I just think he's adorable in the movie. And like I do think some of this movie, it's obviously so low budget and it definitely you can tell in times, but I think this similar to like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's so inspiring like to see like what they came up with in like such a short amount of time, what they're able to do. And then yeah, like spun a franchise of so many movies. Personally, I'm not the biggest Saw person. Gavin, you watch your mouth.
Well, he kind of has a little bit of a point because he's bringing us amazing movies like The Invisible Man and The Wolf Man.
Yes, but he can be in front sometimes, a little bit.
Just sometimes.
Just a little bit. I like him a lot in Insidious because he's playing a silly character. But oh yeah, that is definitely. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think inspiring story. I think it's pretty fun. Like you said, Hello's Up when it kicks in, the twist I think is great. I wish I could have like remembered watching it for the first time, like that plot twist like really getting me, but I don't remember honestly. But yeah, not the biggest Saw person, but I like the first three. I would say the first three. I used to just be the first two, but I do think the third one is good. It has some good twist throughout it with like some of the characters and stuff. But yeah, I do think it got old pretty fast. Like it's all the same, just different, and it's not my thing. But yeah. Oh, and Amanda, great. And like I just feel like there's so many like iconic scenes and like moments and like images from this first movie. So yeah. But do I think like every part of it is like 10 out of 10 perfect? No. There's seams and you can see them, but what they're able to accomplish and like able to do with it, I think makes up for it.
Yeah, especially when it started out as like a short, like 8-minute film of Saw that came out in 2003, which that Amanda scene you were talking about, that was the whole 8 minutes. And wasn't Lee Winnell in that chair with the trap?
I think it's, I think it was him. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, it was like him in the chair, and then it was, oh my God, Juan. Yeah, Juan was behind the camera. Yeah, I was remembering all that. It took me a minute. But yeah. Without that, like just those 8 minutes, we wouldn't get the beauty that's the Saw franchise. I respect the Saw franchise, but as a whole, I just think the Saw franchise is just just in the medium, right in the middle. It has a lot of good and a lot of awful. But yeah, the Saw franchise.
And if you ever get the chance to see Saw the musical, freaking see it because it is so funny. It is so one of the best things I've ever seen. Genuinely. It is hilarious.
And one was coming to Atlanta, and I really wanted to go, but all my money went to another trip, so I got screwed. I got screwed out of that trip. So yeah, Hurricane Milton fucked up everything. So fuck you, Hurricane Milton. And Spooky Empire, if you're listening, I want my refund. So
I never got tickets for that.
Huh?
Sometimes procrastinating does pay off because I never got tickets for that.
Anyways, lucky, because it's the most pain in the ass experience right now. But I think I finally got them to start working on it. I'll check with them Monday. But anyway, sorry, that's a mini rant because they were pissing me off at one point. But they're working on it. But anything else from 2004?
No.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and go to 2009. And this is the point now where we're getting a bunch of movies. So I'm just going to like maybe throw 3 at a time. Unless if they're a big movie fan, they'll get their standalone. So I'll go ahead and knock off some of the like smaller ones here first. So let's go ahead and knock out these two small ones. It is Stan Helsing, which I know you watched Van Helsing for the very first time recently. This is like obviously the parody version of that movie. Had a limited release on October 23rd of 2009, and not very good. I'll just let you know that. And then the other one I saw, Wrong Turn 3 Left for Dead. Not the biggest fan of this movie either. I feel like after Wrong Turn 2, they should have just stopped. But instead, they kept going. And it's just not a fun ride for sure. And so if you're curious, it's available to rent at $3.59 if you're curious. And I'll throw this one out here as well, too, to go along with these three. The Stepfather Remake, released on October 16th of 2009. Not a very well received remake, but it does have that guy, if you see him in the middle between those three people. He's the main guy of the You Show on Netflix. So Destiny, any comments about these three movies?
I love the Stepfather remake. I've never seen the other two men. Oh wait, I have seen Wrong Turn 3. Bad. I'm not watching Stan Helsing. Don't care. The Stepfather remake, I freaking love that movie. I don't know what it was about that, but like when it came out, and for years, like I would just watch it. And there was a time like during the summer when I would like start it, finish it, start it, finish it, like go, go, go. Because it was just a comfort movie for me. It's not that great. And I didn't even know this was a remake at the time. And I didn't watch the remake until a couple years ago. I didn't watch the original until a couple years ago. And I actually really enjoyed the original too. I think the original is great. But
was it the last drive-through?
Huh?
Because they did the last drive-through episode with the Stepfather
Last
original.
Drive-In?
Yeah, the last drive. What was I saying?
Last Drive-Through.
Okay, yeah, the last drive-in. Yes, they did. The very first movie they showed was the Stepfather, the original.
I just watched it like on its own, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I love the remake for the Stepfather. I think I don't know. There's just something about it. It's a comfort movie for me. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and you and Braden also did an episode, watch-along episode with the Stepfather too, from what I remember too. So that's available if you all are interested in that. So let's see here. Another three movies. I'll just show out these three movies, which I know we'll talk about more one of about than the ever. Actually, you know what? Let me just do two right here because I do like the second one. This one is Saw 6. I know we've already talked about Saw already, so we can speed through Saw 6. Even though to me this is one of the better ones within the Saw franchise, I do enjoy like the kind of like the whole big wheel one where all the six people are there. That's my favorite chap in that movie. And then the other one I have here, and I really appreciate this one. It's The House of the Devil, released on October the 1st of 2009 on video on demand only. And it has a lot of great scores here too. Available on Prime, Peacock, and Shudder right now. And Joyce is the main actress in this movie, and I think she did a awesome job. It definitely has Satanist cult vibes to this movie, but it does a great job creating an uncomfortable atmosphere and just also creating a very good final girl at the process, which I'll let you know she is in the 64 final girl tournament as well, for Joyce is. And I do remember enjoying it a lot. So what about you, Des? Saw 6 and The House of the Devil.
Saw 6, I think, is like whatever. It's all right. It does have Roderick from the Diary of the Wimpy Kids. He's in this, so that's pretty cool. The shotgun carousel, like you said, that's pretty cool. But like again, there's another twist, of course, that's I think somewhat memorable. But whatever. House of the Devil, though, I enjoy a lot. I watched it, I think, last month. I should have definitely saved it, I think, it's an October movie, so I should have saved it, but whatever. I was just in the mood for like a October feeling movie, so I watched it. I think it's really good. It does go like a way I was not expecting in a way, like, I don't know. It got very strange in a way I wasn't.
Like I thought it was going to be a house invasion movie when I first watched it, and then it completely went the other way.
There's like, it has to do with like the eclipse, and that's what I wasn't expecting. you know, and it gets like very strange, but I like it. I think it's really good. I like the vibes of it. I like the setting. Ty West, I think it's a great one. So yeah, I enjoy The House of the Devil.
Nice. And I agree, Rosie. It is a good slow burn, and slow burns are not my biggest forte, but if it's done correctly, it can be very damn good. And that's what The House of the Devil was. It was a very good slow burn. So I agree there, Rosie. And yes, Ty West movie too. And that's why another reason I liked it, because Ty West, it's hardly any time ever that Ty West makes a bad movie. So there we go. So let's see here. Let me mark off those two real quick, and then we'll go individual on these ones because these three are iconic for '09. With the first one being Zombieland, released on October the 2nd of 2009, and awesome that it recently got put over to Netflix. So if you want to check out Zombieland, it is on Netflix right now. And as you can see from these numbers here, a lot of people enjoyed this. And I enjoy it too. This is actually, if we're going to do zombie movies, this is my second favorite zombie movie. But of the comedy movie, like the horror comedy movies, this might be indeed my favorite horror comedy of all time. I just love, like, they just went and have a great time with it. They made like the whole big thing of rules, like rule number one, always put, or like, it's been a while since, I don't know. Number one is like, put on your seatbelt. Rule number 4, always check the back seats. Rule number 7, never go to the bathroom by yourself. Like, it has all these crazy rules, and it's just so much fun. And of course, Woody Harrelson playing Tallahassee, looking for those damn Twinkies. It's just so freaking iconic. And Emma Stone is also in this movie, and she is awesome. And to my surprise, man, I forget every time, but Zombieland has a particular sad scene that always gets to me every freaking time that I always forget about until I actually watch it. But yeah, and of course, Bill Murray, fucking hilarious shit. Any regrets? Garfield, perhaps. So Zombieland, it's such an amazing time. So Desi, what are your thoughts about Zombieland?
I enjoy this one a lot. It was one I definitely watched a lot because we had this one on DVD at my mama's house when I was like growing up, like when we got it. So I do remember watching it a lot, and then I just hadn't watched it in so long. I remember watching it. It was on TV. Watched a little bit with my family. Then it got to where they started smoking weed. I was with like my religious family, and so they changed it. And I was like, "What the heck?" I was really enjoying that, but whatever. So it's not one that I go back to that often, and I need to change that. But I'm gonna wait again until like summer because it's definitely, I think, more of like a summer feel type of movie. For me. So I'm gonna go back and rewatch it in its entirety since they shut it off. So yeah, but I enjoy this one a lot. It's so much fun. It's just for some reason I'm like, oh no, I don't ever want to watch it. And then it was on and I was really enjoying it. I was like, why don't I ever want to rewatch this? Like, that's crazy. So yeah, whenever it's summertime, I want to give this one a watch. The second one wasn't the biggest fan of. There's a lot of it I did find really funny, and then there was some I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like they tried extra hard, and it was 10 years too late.
Yeah, I do feel like they're trying like extra hard. I feel like, and like, I don't know, but the first one I do think is great. It's genuinely funny. I think all around funny. The characters are great, very well like written. Like you said, there is some heart to it. There's some emotional parts to it, and I think that's what you need with like horror comedies. I think you should still have like an emotional weight to it because it just like Night of the Creeps. I rewatched Night of the Creeps last night. That has a couple scenes that are like, damn, like that's in this movie. Like that's kind of crazy. And it's like that's what makes it so good, though. You know. So yeah. Zombieland though, a lot of fun. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you like snowballs or Twinkies?
Twinkies. Like, I don't mind a snowball, but I can only eat like half of one because like it's a lot. But like I do enjoy them. But a Twinkie, yeah, I'll fuck up a Twinkie. I love Twinkies.
Have you ever had a deep fried Twinkie before?
No, even though I want to. I mean, there is like the Houston there, or like the Houston rodeo. They have to have them there. Like I know they will. I don't think I have, but for some reason It
Oh
sounds
my God.
amazing though.
Oh, it's so amazing. We have in our carnivals in Tennessee. I've had it in that one, but nothing absolutely beats a deep fried Oreo. I think that's the greatest creation
Really?
on God's green earth.
I love funnel cake.
Ooh, that's a strong one too. Which
I
I'll
love
tell you this: if you ever come to East Tennessee one day, Dollywood has amazing funnel
I
cake.
want to get a Dollywood so bad.
Which yeah, I'd definitely love for y'all to come. I'll even pay for y'all's Dollywood tickets if we could get that arranged in the future. Because Dollywood is such a fun time. You will absolutely hate the roller coasters, but like the
Feeling them, so don't care about that.
but like the hospitality of like East Tennessee, the mountains, and even the shows and the music and the food, you will absolutely love it. Especially in October, they do a Halloween one where they do like a bunch of Halloween stuff.
Oh, that would be cool then.
Yeah, so we will try to definitely make that happen.
Okay.
So let's see here. We have deep fried Oreos and ice cream here in Missoula.
Okay. But when Sonic had deep fried Oreos,
Oh
those
wow!
bitches
Oh,
were
I've been
good.
meaning to try those.
Well, we don't have them anymore.
Son of a
we
bitch!
that was like years ago. Whenever we did have them, they were so good. You can buy like a little thing of ice cream with them. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Sonic comes out with a lot of misses, but oh my god, when they come
when
out
they get a hit,
like,
they get a fucking hit.
Like queso. Oh my god, I eat it every day at work.
Yes.
Queso?
High five on that one. The queso was fucking amazing.
This is one of the best things in the world.
Are you talking about the fried quesos, or are you talking about like the little wraps they do? Because the wrap is what I got, and I thought the queso was great.
Well, I just eat the queso on the fries because I don't eat meat. So.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I eat queso on my fries, but I love queso.
Yeah,
Oreos
and
are disgusting. I strongly disagree. Oreos are one of my favorites.
oh yeah, Oreos fucking badass. And I'll even say this real quick, and we'll get back on track because on Beers with the Bros, I'm doing a competition. I'm gonna have the guys guess according to Eat This, Not That, the top 13 French fries in the game right now for fast food, and Sonic made it at number 10 with the groovy fries.
You know, I do like the groovy fries. I feel like, again, though, we got these fries because they are supposed to hold better. I don't think they hold better at all, but I don't think our fries just hold whatsoever. But if you get the fries, like, literally, like, right out the fryer, oh, my God. They're so good. They are so good.
Especially with the special sauce y'all include with them. And plus, they're the crinkle cuts, so you can easily get more sauce in your dip. So that's why I love it. Like, so I agree. I'm glad you all made that switch because I wasn't the biggest fan of the other ones.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got way off topic there, but that's my fault. I love to talk about food any chance that we freaking get. A Mars bar. I've never tried that one. So, but I bet you that would be good.
Me either.
And fries, some Checkers, abso-fucking-lutely, or Riley's, they called it too. But if you get those from the grocery store and put it in the freaking air fryer.
Yeah, I've had those, like the grocery store ones. I've never actually had them from like the Checkers.
Oh yeah, the original, like the actual fast food ones, to die for.
Okay, but I have made those are like the go-to ones I get whenever I get fries from the grocery store, the Checkers fries. I think Sonic is decent. Like honestly, I don't eat a lot of it, like I said, because I don't eat meat. But like the quarter pound doubles, though, so whenever I did eat meat, I don't think our big patties are that great. But a quarter pound double, oh my god, so freaking good. So if you go there, I don't suggest getting a regular cheeseburger. I suggest getting a quarter pound double. Get some fries with the queso on it. Not cheap fries. Get the fries with queso because they're different. And get an ocean water if you like coconut. If you like blue coconut.
Yeah. Ocean water is always good. Or last night after my haunted house, I did. I got the root beer with added vanilla and sweet cream. The Sonic I went to finally understood the assignment and they gave it to me. So I was happy.
And also pretzel with cheese. I love and cheese sticks. Okay. So quarter pound double, and get a pretzel with cheese.
Yes.
Get a medium fry. I'm just gonna say medium fry with queso. Get a small cheese stick with marinara. You need the marinara, and get an ocean water. I think those are like some staples to like try a little bit of everything. Ashton, I'm also a Taco Bell guy. I literally had Taco Bell today before the stream. And that
Which
wasn't
one?
even my dinner. That was just like my late lunch, and I was starving. I would eat pasta after that, but I did have Taco Bell today. Love Taco.
And speaking of Taco Bell, that list number 6, it was the nacho fries at Taco Bell for best French fries in the
I
game.
had nacho fries. I had nacho fries and the cheese today.
It's honestly the best.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. All right, we're talking about food. We need to talk about the horror movies because I know we're getting on time. So let's go ahead and go to the one. In fact, you're very super close with dressing up as, or I think you're spot on too. But let's go ahead and do it. Trick or Treat had a DVD release on October the 6th of 2009. I know earlier it had it went around the horror film festivals and all that. But so I counted the DVD release. And plus, I wanted it to stand alone because this is personally a lot of people's favorite anthology horror movie of all time. I would think this is my favorite because I just love the Sam character. Like all the other stories are really cool, but just that Sam character, I need more Sam. So I hope they definitely do the second one in the future because I want more Sam. That's I just need Sam. Sam is to me. Would you? Okay, this is actually a good question. Do you consider Sam a horror icon?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say on the level of Michael Myers or anything, but if you go to Spirit Halloween, Trick or Treat merchandise is everywhere. And it's one of those that I feel like no one knew about, and then now it's everywhere. And so I do think it is more of it's more well known now than probably than ever, I would say, just because it's so many places. But I still don't know if I would just sit there and say oh, icon. I don't know if every single person knows who that is, but I do think a lot of people now know who it is,
No, I agree. And plus, it's just super impressive when you just come from a film festival and a DVD, and still to this day, a lot of people, a good majority of people, know who Sam is. But probably not the movie, but just the Sam character as well. So that's why I always love Trick or Treat. But yeah, back to you. What Trick or Treat? What do you think about it?
This one is definitely one of my favorites to watch during October. It's when I always look forward to watching, and I try to specifically save it for October. We watched this one. We were carving pumpkins. We had it playing outside while we're carving pumpkins. So
awesome.
It was a lot of fun to have playing in the background. We were carving, sit perfectly, set the mood and stuff, and then we did the seeds and everything. So a great October, fall time, activities going on. So I love Trick or Treat. I think it's great. And it's just, I remember the first time watching it, I watched it at my stepmom's house, and I had never heard of it before. And I was like, wow, that was so insane. That was so good. And so now it's so cool to see it everywhere and stuff. And this is when I showed Maddie, if I can show people that haven't seen it, I love watching it with them. But now I feel like everyone's seen it. So, it's unless it's my mom hadn't seen it. So she watched a little bit of it while we were carving pumpkins. And
nice.
my brother watched it, but yeah.
Were y'all carving pumpkins during the scene where they dealt with the pumpkins?
I mean, we're doing it the whole movie.
Oh, the whole movie. Gotcha.
But yeah.
So let's. Oh, and Chester. Yes, it did came out in 2007, but again, it came out in film festival territory. So I really don't count film festivals. What I mainly try to go for is premieres, VODs, movie theaters, or just straight to online and all that. That's what I technically look for. And trust me, I know you're absolutely correct. It did came out technically in 2007. We're going with fan film industries or just the festival industry, but from a DVD, an actual worldwide release in a way, it was 2009. So let's see here. I think that is everything on Trick or Treat from the chat. And then the last one I had here to speak about rejuvenating a particular genre in the horror genre, and that is the found footage one. and we're going to go with Paranormal Activity, released on October 16th of 2009. And again, I know that this film had like limited releases and it was also making its rounds through festivals and everything earlier in 2009, but it got its big break on the big screen on October the 16th of 2009. And the whole franchise, I believe right now, is on Max because that's where the original is right now. And so, Destiny, what do you think about Paranormal Activity?
I remember watching this one and it like actually like really scaring me. Not like a whole lot, but I do remember being like pretty freaked out by it. Now like I don't definitely like I don't find it to be as scary, but again with what they were able to do, I think is so impressive. It started out so small and like then they had like studio help and stuff like that. It became not so small towards the end of the release, I would say, and like before it came out. But towards the beginning, it was very small. The budget was so tiny. So the initial like concept and like what got it off the ground was such a small project, which again is so amazing. Like there's so many movies I think on like these lists on the list tonight. That's like wow, that's actually really inspiring. You can get a few people and you can really make something with not a whole lot, and it's kind of insane. And again, this spun a franchise. There's in total 7 movies, including like like the sort of like
Amish one,
the spin-off one, which I don't think was that bad actually. I like the Paranormal Activity movies. They're not ones I was going back to. I hadn't seen them in like quite a while. Personally, Part 5 is my favorite. I think the marked ones is so good.
So good.
Ghost Dimension is terrible. It's a
Yes.
popcorn movie. It's a fun, I think, popcorn movie if you want to watch something bad and laugh at it. And it's a Christmas one. It's a Christmas bad horror movie. So there you go. But yeah, the first one, what they were able to accomplish with it, I think is pretty great. I mean, Mika as a character is so frustrating, but like he is supposed to be. Like, Katie, I think she is so good in it. Like, so good. She literally like it all really relies on her. And I think if she was not a good actress and it wasn't like believable,
it wouldn't have worked.
It would not have worked. Because like Mika, I don't think is like the best actor, whatever.
No, he is certainly not.
He carries it, and if it wasn't for her, it wouldn't be that great. And like she gives such a guttural scream that I think is so terrifying in this movie. So yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's Brandon, I disagree. That part is so good. If you're talking about the scene in the marked ones, that part is so freaking good.
Oh no, it makes the whole movie.
I remember like the first time watching that one and being like, oh my god, like oh my, that was like my like Marvel moment. Like that was literally like, holy shit, like I can't believe we're doing this. But yeah, Paranormal Activity, I think it's good. I rewatched that one I think this year, I believe, because I needed a movie to watch like at work, so I just had it kind of playing. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that was pretty good. I don't think it's nearly like as like impressive, I think, rewatching it as it was like the first time, Like it's not nearly as scary or anything, but I still find it to be effective, especially with, what little they had originally.
Yeah, and it's just with me, the Paranormal Activity franchise. It's just I have like 2 just like bad memories of it. The first one is they screwed me on horror trivia night. Like what is the most like the movie that made the most money of all time? The real answer was supposed to be the Blair Witch Project, but the trivia people said it was Paranormal Activity. So me and Chris have a disdain for Paranormal Activity on that front, because we went from first place to last place. And then the other one too, it was Paranormal Activity 2. One of my buddies at the time thought it would be hilarious to spray Axe body spray and a lighter and almost set my face on fire. I don't know why he thought it was such a good idea, but he almost burned my face and I was really pissed off. So other than that, the first movie, I had a good time with it. It scared the shit out of me the first time, but now doesn't scare me quite as much, but I still respect the hell out of it from where it started. But from where it kind of ended, I was like, okay. Like with like movies 6 and 7. But no, I love 5 too. 4 was the first horror movie I technically went to the theater for. was Paranormal Activity 4, but had Catherine Newton in it, and she was awesome. But other than that, yeah, Paranormal Activity franchise, it's a solid franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see here. Sounds like you got fucked on that deal. Yeah, you damn right I got fucked on that deal. I almost got my face burned and I lost on trivia. It was the worst night ever. So, but all right. That's all I got for 2009. Do you have anything else from 2009?
Nope.
Perfect. All right, we got a couple. We got a lot for 2014. So for the majority of them, we'll skip through them because a lot of these you can easily do speed rounds. So let's go ahead and just go with the first two here. We got Annabelle, released on October the 3rd of 2014. This is available on Netflix right now if you're indeed interested within the Conjuring franchise. And then another Netflix movie. This is Dracula Untold, a different take on a Dracula film released on October the 10th of 2014. With Dracula Untold, I'd not seen the movie, but I remember the marketing for this movie on the USA Network, and it drove me insane because I was like, I'm not interested, so quit fucking show me this marketing. But with Annabelle, also heavily marketed on the USA channel, but I was kind of interested in it. But then years later, I watched it, and it's just meh. The only great thing about Annabelle is just Annabelle Willis, great actress. Other than that, movie's just okay. What about you, Vo? Annabelle or Dracula Untold? What do you think about those films?
I saw Annabelle in theaters. Yeah, Annabelle Wallace. I think she's pretty great. Movie, whatever. The scene in the stairwell is good.
Yes,
I do like that scene. That Dracula movie, I didn't know that was. I don't get to watch that. I'm all right on that. But yeah, Annabelle, no, not that great. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. There you go. And I'm actually gonna do a solo for this one just because I think it's time for a Destiny rant. So, are you ready? Do you remember this movie?
Oh my god.
Any memories about this movie, Des?
That movie's literally so bad. I hate watched it because I had already seen the kill count for it, but then I have like the 1 through 6 pack, and so I was able to watch it. And that movie's just so nasty, and it just makes me so mad because like people said like The Wrong Turn, the new one wasn't
over 2021.
But then you watch this movie, and this is also literally not a Wrong Turn movie, even though like it does have cannibals in it. It also has weird incest that is just like so strange. You're like, what the fuck's going on? Like the cannibals are like completely put to the side. Like that's not even the main point. It very much feels like Texas Chainsaw 3D, except for instead of it being Leatherface, it's these cannibals. Instead of it being a house, it's a hotel. And that's literally like what it is. And so if you watch the new Wrong Turn and you say that's not a Wrong Turn movie, which it's strangers in the woods attacking people. Sorry, I know it's not inbred cannibals, but like that does sound like a Wrong Turn movie to me. It's just a different concept. Sorry. So, I mean, and that movie is miles better compared to this one. So if you want to talk about shit Wrong Turn, and then my thing is, if these Wrong Turn movies were fantastic and you're mad about this new one, great. But hello? Are we watching the same movies? They're not great. And so like why are you so mad? They did something different that was fresh and new with movies that were not great, that focused on the wrong parts of like movies. They were literally just like porn, graphic kills. That was it, And if you're into that, whatever. Personally, I'm not. That's not like exactly why I'm here for the movies. So I like the new one. I thought it was such a great, after all the shit that came out, it's like, wow, thank you for something different.
Yeah, and I agree with Gavin's comment there. I think it's actually the best one.
And hello, what's happening? Freaking ads.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, we are not a sponsor of Mountain Dew. We are not a sponsor of Mountain Dew.
Oh, my thing ended. That's how long we've been on here.
YouTube, do not shut us down.
But yeah, I do very much enjoy the first two Wrong Turn movies, and then I enjoy the newest one. I think, but besides that, like, no.
Mm-hmm. And the only one I'm interested in at this point is the one with the snow because I just love a good horror movie in the snow. So Wrong Turn 4, I will check out, but yeah, I don't hear great things about it.
Yeah,
And
it's not that great.
yeah, and I just wanted to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The setting is cool for the fourth one, but yeah, it's just again.
Just me. But yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up Wrong Turn 6 because I'll even say, just I remember you doing something on TikTok with it, just you're giving your thoughts as you're watching a movie. Still in my top 5 of best social media reviews of all time because you were getting more pissed as the video went along as you were watching it.
Because it's truly awful. Like one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Oh man. And what Wrong Turn 7 Club? Oh my gosh, y'all are just getting out of control right now in the chat. This stream is sponsored by Mountain Dew. Do the do. I wish we were sponsored by Mountain Dew. That would be great, but this is not an official sponsor, so don't get us Mountain Dew or anybody. But yeah, just wanted to show that one. So I'll throw a couple more at you. This one's Housebound. I do remember this one on the last drive-in. And I had a really good time with this one, but this had a limited release on October 17th, 2014. Solid numbers all around. So I'm probably going to revisit this one just to see why I enjoyed it the first time. So I do plan on doing that. The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the second one, had an internet release on October 17th of 2014. From my memory, this has Daniel Harris in it for a little bit, but I've not seen the movie. I just remember Daniel Harris being a part of it just a little bit. But speaking of Daniel Harris, See No Evil 2 definitely had Daniel Harris and Catherine Isabel and was released on October the 21st of 2014. This one's available on Tubi. So at this point of these three movies, I probably will suggest to you Housebound and See No Evil 2 because See No Evil 2 I actually enjoy better than the first See No Evil. Just because, again, better cast, better... to my opinion, a better look of Kang. So, Des, what about you? Any thoughts about these three movies?
I recently watched See No Evil 2 again, and I actually do enjoy that one. I think it's quite good, and I think it's better than the first one. Also, I don't think Danielle Harris is in The Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Oh, the remake?
Yeah.
I thought she was, but let me double check.
But I recently tried to rewatch The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the 2014 one, and it's not even like a remake. It's quite like it fits into like a really weird like space because in this universe, the movie does take place. Like the movie is a movie inside the 2014 one, but the events did happen, if that makes sense. Like the events that took place, but it's also a movie. Like in this one, they're watching the movie from the original one, like the scene from the original one. And so it's cool. But the only thing is like after I tried to, and I ended up falling asleep. So I only made it like 20 minutes in this one. It's also just like, and it's the same person we were talking about earlier from Salem's Lot, the new one. It has the same guy. He's also in The Town That Dreaded Sundown, the remake, or the whatever you want to call it, the 2014 one. My problem with this movie is like I feel like they threw everything at the wall and like try to see if it stuck. Like there's so much like strange like movement and color choices and just every like image on the film is like crazy. I don't know. Like it's so like it's a lot. It feels like you're like it's like turned all the way up. And so like I wish this movie would have been toned down a little bit more because it's so just like you're like flipping upside down, like the camera's going crazy in this way and that way and that way, and it's just like whoa, let's chill out because it is.
So it had like a primeval.
A little bit, like it's a little bit, like it's moving too much, and the killer does talk in this one, which I don't like, and the voice sounds really weird. Because in the original one, I don't remember the killer talking at all. Don't think he does, and I do enjoy the original as well. And I did a double feature the first time I watched them. I watched the original and then the 2014 one just to compare them. And it was a really fun like thing to do. But yeah, this one, the girl in it, the lead, she's I think pretty great. She kicks a lot of ass, I would say, like towards the end. Like I just think she's a likable character. The gore and the kills, they're pretty over the top. It's pretty like gruesome, I would say. And it's just like mean spirited. But yeah, there's just too much going on camera wise. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
But besides that, I remember enjoying it. And I watched the first like 20 minutes a couple months ago. But even in the first 20 minutes, I was like, holy shit, can you calm down a little bit, please? And like, it wasn't that far in. So yeah, it's just a little bit too much. But there's also some really cool shots in the movie as well, because sometimes it does work out. So, you know, and there's some, like I said, when you're watching that scene in the movie and it's like playing out in the movie as well, some really cool scenes. But yeah, a little too much.
Nice. And I did double check. Yeah, it's kind of like she did the same thing with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She was just in the background, but Daniel Harris was town person number 2.
Town person number 2.
Yeah, which, okay, they didn't need for balloons, so thank you, StreamYard. But yeah, townsperson number 2, which is kind of like her similar role with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But which I didn't know she was in that movie until I heard that story on a podcast. But any memory about Housebound?
Housebound, I watched in the last drive-in, and I remember liking it. And I remember it being kind of like, you think it's going one way, then it's actually going a different way, and it's going a different way. So it's like all over the place, but it's fun. I do like that one.
So yeah, being sarcastic, saying townsperson number 2, critical character.
I'm gonna have to look out next time and be very critical of the town people, because now I'm like, which the first time I did watch it again, I watched it on my phone because I wasn't able to like stream anything on my TV. So a lot of this stuff I used to have to watch on my phone, and so now I'm like watching it again, but like on the TV. So it's like a whole nother experience. I'm like, whoa. And I was watching this on Braden. I was watching The Town That Dreaded Sundown on Braden's TV, which is fucking way too big. And I was like, in his bed, I was like, oh my God, there's too much happening.
Do you have the surround sound on?
I did.
Oh my
but
God.
I kept trying to get down because I didn't want it to be too loud. And I was just like it was very like overstimulating because it was just like,
boom, boom.
Yeah. Too much happening at once. But yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Oh, hello. I will never forget about one of my wrench women here. Brooke, what's going on there, Brooke? How are you doing? Go Big Orange, University of Tennessee. Brooke, hopefully you got your cigar out for me since I can't have one. So hopefully you got the cigar out for us. Let's see here. All right, that's that for those particular 3. So let me get my notes back up. You can go, and then you can go. All right, and I'm going to give these 3 movies, and then the one you picked for me, I'm going to do a solo dolo for. So let's go with the last 3 here. VHS Viral had an internet release on October 23rd of 2014, part of the VHS franchise. So perfect time for this to pop up after the release of VHS The Beyond. And then the next one we got OG. My God, okay. Hold on, I'm playing a video real quick. Shame on me for mispronouncing that damn word. It's the Ouija for October 24th of 2014. Available on Netflix. It's absolutely awful. That's the only thing I know about it, and that's why I'm going to take all these numbers word for it. And then the number one is Horns with Daniel Radcliffe in it, released actually on Halloween Day of October 31st of 2014. I do remember watching this movie because I was just curious about Daniel Radcliffe and what in the world is he doing in this movie, what this story is about. And it was bland at best, so I wouldn't suggest watching it, just to be honest with you. Unless if you're a fan of Harry Potter and Daniel Radcliffe, if you're just curious, go for it, but you're not really missing anything, or you're not getting anything too exciting out of it. So, Destiny, any thoughts about VHS Viral, Ouija, or Horns?
VHS Viral, kind of sucked. I don't remember a whole lot about it except for a skateboarding segment, but whatever. I don't really care to rewatch it. Never seen Horns. Don't really have a whole lot of interest in it. Ouija was terrible as well. I agree. With Hatchet Boys, big steaming pile of shit. It is pretty bad. It has in the opening, it has the lead from Unfriended. She's in it. It has quite a few like recognizable people throughout it. Lynn Shay is in it as well. But the movie's just bad. But then you have Ouija 2, Origins of Evil, directed by Mike
Yes.
Finnegan.
That one was good.
So, but yeah, this is the case of the first one was really bad. And it's definitely like a PG-13, and I watched it not that long ago. I can't remember when. Maybe it was this year or last year, just to like rewatch it because I hadn't seen it in a while. And I do have it because I have like the first two, like the double feature pack. And I was like, oh my God, that was even worse than I remembered. It was so bad. But yeah, pretty bad. And then, yeah, Horns, I don't know.
Yeah.
not
It's
rushing
like you could just take your time with it. Like
I
but
remember
it's
when
just
that came out though. Like I remember
Mhm.
seeing like the previews for it, and I was just like, "What the fuck is that?"
You think it's one thing, it just turned out to be another thing. So I felt like they mismarketed the film. But yeah, you're not missing much with Horns. And then yeah, those are those three right there. So let me mark them off the board. And then this one you had me watch for the last one of 2014, and the one you had me watch was The Taking of Deborah Logan, released on October 21st of 2014. The critics absolutely loved this movie, which is not it's not very like you don't see it a lot. The critics really enjoying something while the audience is just like, meh, take it as you will, blah blah blah. But for me, I really thought this was effective, like a really effective horror movie. And it's just a reminder of the horror genre that they could just take something that's scary in real life and they up it up a notch. Like, because this one kind of deals with an old lady dealing with Alzheimer's. And Alzheimer's did hit with like my dad's side of the family with my grandmother. I didn't experience a whole lot of my grandmother because, again, I was just honestly just being personal a little bit got too afraid. I just hate to see it, but just to see this movie and how it tackles it at the beginning, you think it is Alzheimer's, but then as the movie progresses, it becomes something more dark and sinister. And the last scene is definitely of what the fuck did I just watch? In a good way, though. In a good way. So I actually think this is a very effective found footage flick, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5. I was really impressed with it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I showed this one to Brayden a couple, like last month, I think, for the first time, or maybe 2 months ago. And then whenever I went to his house in September, it just became like an ongoing like joke with his sister and her boyfriend. He kept saying like the taking of Debbie Logan, like he kept messing up because he couldn't remember the title of it. They're like
Well,
the one.
I almost said Deborah, but
Well, you did say Deborah.
shit.
You did say it. But he was like, "What's the one?" Like he couldn't remember it, so it was like the taking of Debbie Logan. We just kept coming up with different names for it. I enjoy this one a lot. The first time I watched it, I found it to be very effective. I think also Jill Larson, I believe is her name because I remember looking it up quite a bit. That plays Deborah. She's in Desperate Housewives for just like 2 episodes. She has like a very small part, but she is in Desperate Housewives. I immediately recognized her in the show as well. I was like, that is freaking Deborah. I know it.
Jill Larson.
Yeah,
Mhm.
boom. I was right.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen very often with names. So she is in Desperate Housewives though. But yeah, I very much enjoyed this one. And then so we watched when we were at his sister's apartment with her boyfriend, we all watched this one. They had not seen it. I did record their reaction to a certain scene. And it was great. It was so fun. Yeah, we all enjoyed this one. His sister liked it. Her boyfriend liked it. Brayden liked it. I liked it. And this also does take place during October. So another October watch if you're curious. But yeah, personally, I enjoy it. I find her to be very effective. I think Deborah's freaking, she's pretty creepy. I think the
Absolutely.
story might get a little bit silly sometimes, but there's moments where I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my god. Oh my
No,
god.
yeah, like I agree with you. The story was like a little funky, so that could easily be, rewritten and all that. But yeah, now you made me remind me of the damn attic scene. That was enough for what the fuck was that? Like there was a lot of good what the fuck moments, but again, in all the good ways. So I'm not saying it like what the fuck bad, but what the fuck like, oh, this is effective, creepy, and scary. So Ashton, to answer your question about never seen it, should I put it on the list? Absolutely put it on the list, and it's on Shudder right now.
Yeah, definitely put it on the list. It's the perfect time to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it.
Very effective
With
horror
all
movie.
the lights off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and it's on Tubi. Yes, and do turn off all the lights. I do agree with that as well. Plus, just a dark, pitch black room with any horror movie is always a great idea, especially
Yeah,
with
that's
lights
how
out.
I watched it. The first time I ever watched it was completely in the dark, and I was like, ugh. Like every time she like looked at the camera, I was like, fuck, that's scary.
Oh my god, dude, her look was just so
When she's just
fucking
staring dead
uncomfortable.
into it, oh my god. There's just something freaks me out. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend
Yeah. So that was all I have from 2014. That was a lot of movies from that year. Did you have anything else from 2014?
it.
All right. So no, okay, that's what I got from it. So, and thank you for being a trooper so far. We are getting there. We're at 2019 and 23.
I need to wake up regardless. It's only 9 p.m. on a Saturday night. I should not be freaking.
I know it's a Saturday night. We need to get drunk and crazy and smoke cigars, Tennessee ones. So hey, I'll get you a picker up. I got the perfect movie actually to pick you up from 2019. Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
This is Killer. A Killer Sofa.
Oh my god.
Released on October the 1st of 2019 on the internet and with very damn good reason from what I hear. I have not seen this movie, but I think from my memory, I think you did watch a little bit of this movie. Is that correct?
No. Absolutely.
Or am I thinking about the Microwave Massacre?
Oh my god, don't talk about that.
Okay, we'll talk about that, but yeah, what's your impressions on Killer Sofa with this poster?
No.
So we are all right. Let's see here. Okay, let's just checking the comments real quick. So that was an easy one. So we'll go ahead and delete that. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go ahead and get rid of this one because we kind of already talked about it already. It was Zombieland Double Tap. We already talked about our thoughts in the Zombieland section, but was released on October 18th of 2019. It had actually, to my surprisement, a higher audience score on Rotten Tomatoes than the original. That surprised me because I highly disagree with that.
Yeah, people are crazy. That's no. Again, no.
Yeah,
This movie's
mm-hmm. Like it has some good moments to it, but like you, like just no, it's nothing compared.
It's trying too hard to be cool. The first one I think is like cool, but the second one's trying too hard to be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ashton said, Bez, and we said earlier, it was just 10 years too late. So absolutely agree with that statement. So, but that's Zombieland Double Tap 2. Let's see here. We'll actually save that one by itself. So I'm actually going to throw 4 at you real quick. So be ready. We got Trick, released on October 18th of 2019. This does have a very old Tom Atkins in this movie. Our next one, we got Eli, which was released on October 18th of 2019 on Netflix. This movie also got heavily marketed, but didn't give two shits about it. If you overmarket a movie for me, my chances of watching it are going to go down, just depending on like who's behind it and everything. Then the next one's also on Netflix. This is Countdown. Again, another heavily marketed movie I just did not care about. October 25th of 2019. To my surprisement, that's 72 from the audience. So that kind of has me curious. I might add it to my list, but it'll be the bottom of my list. And then the last one is The Gallows Act 2, released on October 25th of 2019. Horrible numbers all around, but if you're curious about it or a fan of the original, Prime and Tubi. So, Des, any comments about any of these 4 movies?
The only one I've seen, I think, is Trick. I remember it being all right. I thought it was too long. Again, way too long, and it felt like it ended 1,000 times. But I do remember having really cool Halloween vibes. The Gallows 2, never saw the first one, don't care. I think I actually have it on DVD. So I might watch the first one. Don't really care to watch the second one. What were the other two movies? Eli, have not seen. Hold on. Eli, have not seen. Maybe I would. I've seen people like react to it, but I don't know if I want to watch it. And then there was another one that was on Netflix. What was it?
I'm going to give you a countdown.
Countdown. It also has the woman from You, from the first season of You, Beck. Beck, what's your name? Becky.
Was it the blonde one?
Yeah, the blonde girl.
I think it was Becky.
Beck.
Or Beck, yeah.
Yeah. She's in it. I know she's like the main. And it has Carlisle from Twilight. He's in it. And it has one of the boys from Scary Stories to Tell the Dark. I just don't care to really see this one. Again, I've watched like videos of people talking about this movie, and it just seems like one that I'm just like, meh, maybe I'll watch it at some point, but I'm definitely not in any. There's probably 1,000 other movies I would watch before this one. You know what I mean? But maybe at some point. But I'm not in any rush to watch it. It just seems like popcorn, just
dumb.
Watch whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, I'll add to the list, but it'll just be at the bottom. And yeah, just in case if you want to ever hear if you want to see the parody of The Gallows, there's always a movie called The Swallows. So, does it star Gail Swallows? There you go, Rosie. So, all right, just double checking. All right, and then the last thing I have from 2019. We kind of mentioned this earlier with with Shocker. How did we even discover the Shocker? It was because of this great documentary series called In Search of Darkness. This is the very first one. There's 3 of them, but the first one was released on October 31st of 2019 on DVD. And as you can see from these numbers, it is absolutely worth checking out. And I've learned so much about the horror genre through this series, and also got to put a lot of horror movies onto my watch list that I've like never seen before or never even heard of, like Shocker or Alligator. Night of the Demons is where I got introduced to that movie with the whole like lipstick and the breast scene. They talked about it. So many movies. Like, we can go on and on about it, but just for a quick recap, just to study the history of horror and just to find like those hidden gems in the horror genre, absolutely watch this series. It covers all of the 80s movies.
Yeah, I love these documentaries. I have the first 2. I didn't get the third one. I'm kind of hoping either there's still a chance to get the third one. I haven't looked, or maybe because now they're coming out with one for the 90s. Maybe because sometimes I'll do like bundles to where you can get some. I do have the Linnea Quigley version though of In Search of Darkness 2. I only have like the original like regular copy for the first one because I didn't buy it until after it came out, because I don't think I knew about it, because this is about the time I was discovering dead meat and stuff and like kind of getting into all that. I didn't know it was a thing until after October when you're supposed to pre-order it. And so when the second one came out, I made sure to get the first one as well. And then they're on Shudder. They're just so much fun to watch. I'm so excited for the 90s one, but they're just so much fun to watch, especially like if I'm ever like needing to do something. Like, honestly, I might put it on tomorrow, while I'm Chester. Don't even talk about that right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Chester, too soon.
Don't talk about it because I'll freaking cry. I've been doing really well. I haven't cried in 2 days. My nose is literally rubbed raw because I've been crying a lot, so I can't. Anyways, In Search of Darkness, great documentaries. They're so much fun, and they're just so good. Like, if you've already seen it before, they're just so good to have on in the background to watch, and they're so informative. And what I like to do is try to like write them down or like try to log them on Letterboxd, and then I get about halfway done with the movie and I kind of get sidetracked and I forget, or I fall asleep and then I like lose my spot. So I never fully make it through, and it's always like I'm gonna make sure I do this just because I think that's just stuff I like to do. I think it's fun to try. Eventually, I'll watch all of them though. Eventually, but some of them are kind of hard to find, especially if you get towards like the second and third documentary. Some of these movies, you're like, what the fuck? They're starting to get to like, and it just keeps going still though. And I'm sure they can make another one if they wanted to, but they're moving on to a different decade. But yeah, very excited.
Yeah, if you get the third one, I would definitely I definitely know there's an Elvira edition, I think, with the third one. So I bet you if you're going to get one, that would be the one to get. So, all right. I think that is all. I just want to double check the chat. We're good there. Anything else from 2019 before we head to the last year?
Nope.
Perfect. All right. So I'm doing very good so far. So yay. So last year, before I try not to fuck anything up, but speaking of fucking everything up, David Gordon Green created this movie. The Exorcist Believer, released last year on October the 6th of 2023. Not great numbers at all, which I'll admit the trailer was excellent. The trailer was the moment that it got me invested and wanted to go to the theater. So I got my butt to the theater. But the first act, it was doing pretty decent. But then once everything started, it went majorly downhill in an early. And I know I think you got a different opinion than I do, but that movie, I was not a believer in that movie at all. I was very disappointed in it. But don't worry, Mike Flanagan is going to save the day because he came out with a report earlier saying that this is going to be the scariest movie he ever created, was his version of The Exorcist. So I'm super excited for that one. But for David Gordon Green, you prove the same point in the Halloween movies. Just don't. And make original movies. If David Gordon Green makes an original movie, I have a great time with it. It's just when he tackles these particular movies, it's just a major no for me. But Destiny, what do you think about The Exorcist Believer? Were you a believer?
I mean, I don't think the movie's that great. I also don't think it's that bad either, though. I think there's definitely some really dumb moments. But there's some parts that I think are pretty effective. This is the one that we saw at the Alamo Draft House, which was really cool because I'd never been to one, and it was so much fun.
Lucky.
I really wish it was it was for like a better movie. But it was so cool. They showed like a bunch of different like exorcism like trailers for like different things, like put together like a video for a bunch of different ones. So that's what they showed before the movie. So like it was really cool to have like that for it. It was so much fun to see. But yeah, it just like it wasn't that great. But again, I don't think it was like that bad. I do agree though, the trailer for it was so good. I remember seeing the trailer for it whenever I saw Oppenheimer. Well, whenever I did Barbenheimer, but I saw Oppenheimer first. So I got the trailer for and I remember when you first hear the tubular bells, I remember getting like the chills. I was like,
yeah,
holy shit, is this about to be good? But I think that for every freaking David Gordon Green movie, every trailer I see, I'm like, he might do something with this one. And then I watch it and I'm just like, fuck.
Damn it, David.
But for some reason, I say it so many times. Blu-ray, that was absolutely awful. And I remember telling Brayden, I didn't tell him what the line was, but I said, there is a line in this movie that I do know that is so bad. And I'm going to look over like at you to see your reaction. And he literally looked at him like this. He said, okay, I know. I just wanted to see your reaction. It's terrible. It's stupid. Whatever. But like, again, if you put aside that it is connected to The Exorcist, which I don't think it needed to be whatsoever. You did not need any of that at all. It could have been just a possession movie. I don't think it would have been that bad. And like the ending,
agree.
I think was actually like pretty good. Because, you know, like you're like, what is going to happen? And then when it happened, I was like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, they actually did that. So, you know. I do think like some of it was good. The effects I thought were pretty good, especially I can't remember their names of the little girls, but I thought they looked so good.
Yeah, the makeup effect was good.
Christopher Nelson, so makes sense. Of course. But yeah, of course, does it even touch The Exorcist? Absolutely not. But is it like a popcorn turn your brain off movie and just kind of like watch? Yeah. And I did watch it a couple months ago just because I was like feeling like I was missing like the Chicago trip and I was missing fall, and like that's something we did during
Aw.
fall. And so I went back and I rewatched it and I was like, yeah, it's not great. But whatever. There's definitely, I think, worse. But for some
I agree. There's
reason,
worse.
there's something about David Gordon Green that I talk about every time. There's something like, even though I don't like I think some of his movies aren't great, they always grow on me. Halloween Kills grew on me. Halloween Ends grew on me. Didn't think that would happen, but it did. And like this movie, it also, and I had no expectations were on the floor. I had nothing going into this movie. I mean, the trailer I thought could be good, but I was still like, I'm not going to be tricked. I don't want to be tricked. Even then, I was still like, ugh. It's just like there's something about him that he never like fully hits it. But then I always want to go back and rewatch it, even though like I could not like it. It immediately I'm just like I can't stop thinking about his movies. So I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with David Gordon Green. He doesn't know me, but we do have a love-hate relationship.
I'm sure he would really appreciate your opinion of what you just said.
I mean, like, it's not all bad, and some is good,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot
Like
of it,
the first act, like the first act was really good. It set it up perfectly, but then after that, it was just all downhill.
the first act of Halloween Ends. Oh my god! Like the whole like opening scene, I was like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit! Like that was crazy. And so like I do think I don't know, and I feel bad for him because he does get so much shit, And to be fair, like Blumhouse really also is like, hey, let's give him 3 movies for The Exorcist. I bet he could do it. Why? Hey, let's not set him up to fail either, And also, Blumhouse is just stupid. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, me and Jason Blum are gonna fight. AI? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, that's
I'm just whatever Blumhouse does these times. I'm not surprised anymore. Like it doesn't upset me anymore because I just know whatever they do, it's just so
they're
fucking
so
stupid.
like just going. And again, like Blumhouse, they do have some really good movies too. Like there are some that are like, yes, I love this movie, but then they make
Mm-hmm.
stupid ass decisions. They, bite off more than they can chew, and then they're doing all this stuff with AI. It's just so frustrating. Yeah, like I
Yeah,
love
Blu-ray nailed it.
Yeah. And I do feel bad for David. And even like when David Gordon Green was on the episode of The Last Drive-In with Jason Blum, like hearing him talk about movies and stuff, it's like, wow. And it's like, but I also feel like in a way, and this isn't even remotely the same because again, I do enjoy his movies to an extent. I just feel like in a way, this is maybe how people feel for like Rob Zombie, where they just don't like it. Like they just can't buy into it. And maybe that's just the same, for David Gordon Green. Some people really love it, just like I really love Rob Zombie stuff. And some people hate it. And, just sometimes it just doesn't work out. And sometimes it just happens to be the same guy doing the movies over and over again. I just don't like it. So, yeah, I feel bad sometimes because I do think he's probably a pretty fun person or a
I'm
good
sure he's a great guy. It's
he
just
loves
when it comes to the
movies. And
remake.
it's the same thing with like Rob Zombie. He obviously loves movies. Just some people just can't get into his movies, and that's fine. Whatever.
Oh, the one that's pissed me off lately, even at work, people are not into Tim Burton, and it's starting to piss me off because I was like, Tim Burton's awesome. What the hell? Like, so he's another one you can add to that category.
Yeah, I think his movies are good. I think him as a person, though, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, I could agree. I'm just talking about the
for the most
artwork.
part. For the most part.
For the most part. I don't want to forget about you, Ryan. So, Ryan, what's going on, my friend? And plus, I wanted to address this comment real quick. I saw the song about your showing your ID if you want to see Terrifier 3 or Smile 2, and I was like, what the fuck? Yes, they did ID me twice for Terrifier 3. Apparently, the beard on my face didn't give them any sign whatsoever I was over the age of 18. But yeah, with Smile 2, I was more lenient on that because dumbass me ordered the wrong. I ordered the right ticket at the wrong theater. So Regal helped me cancel that ticket and got me the new one set, ready to go. So I was going to do whatever they asked me to do for the rest of the time because their customer service is amazing. So we got that fixed. But yeah, they asked me ID for Smile 2, but I was okay on that one, just with, again, the great customer service. So that one didn't bother me. Terrified 3, I was really surprised they asked me, just because with the beard on my face, I was like, how do you not believe me? I'm not over 18. Like, did they ask for your ID?
No.
What the hell? I was like, you are younger than all of us. So if anybody should be asking for ID, it might be you.
Yeah, no, surprisingly not.
Wow. I
But
am
also, like,
very...
my theater sometimes IDs, but a lot of times they don't. Like, more than often, they don't ID. It's rare when they do. The last time I was ID'd was for Halloween Kills.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But also, maybe they didn't. But also, there's definitely people. I said also twice. There were teenagers that were definitely under the age because I heard them like talking when they're trying to buy tickets, but they still got in. But we also had alcohol in our hands when we were walking in. So maybe they just saw that as well. And we're just like, obviously, like,
that's the ticket.
Yeah, like I'm 21. I have alcohol. So, yeah. No, we did not get ID'd though. A lot of times if I'm with Brayden, I don't get ID'd. If I'm not with him though, and if I'm with my friends though, I will get ID'd. I'm just like,
yeah.
What's up with that?
There you go. Let's see here. Anything else about The Exorcist before we move along and finish up?
Nope.
All right. Let's see here. I'll throw these 2 quick balls at you real quick. Just 2 quick ones. Dark Harvest released on the internet on October the 13th of 2023. This one has definitely a good fall/October atmosphere, especially with the main creature in it. Thought it was a cool design, but the story itself, I could care 2 shits about. I just like the setting and everything. That's why this movie passed on for me. And then this next one, to my surprise, man, I had a really good time with it just because it's one of those turn your brain off movies. And that is Slaughterhouse, released on October 15th of 2023. It's on Hulu. And as you can see from the Rotten Tomato scores, they kind of agree with me. Just turn your brain off and you can actually have a fun time with this one. And plus, just to see a killer sloth, it definitely intrigued me. So, Destiny, any thoughts about Dark Harvest or Slaughterhouse?
Didn't see Slaughterhouse. I remember everyone talking about it, and I was just like, no, I'm good on that right now. Dark Harvest, I remember it being kind of cool. The story was like meh. I think I gave it 3, maybe 3.5, because I did like.
I think I did 3 too.
But and I do have it on my list to watch this month. But if it's one that like I don't get to, I'm not gonna be upset about. I would like to watch it. It is on my watch list, but there's a bunch of them on there. But yeah, if I don't get to it, it's fine. Maybe next year. But I remember it just being all right. I think it was overhyped. I remember people were like, this movie's amazing. And I was like, oh, maybe I don't know. I don't know what amazing is supposed to be, I guess, anymore.
Well, do you know how you can trick them? At the time, they say it's amazing. A year later, ask the same question. And I bet you that a lot of people will be like, I don't fucking remember that movie. Because that's pretty much me. I thought it was good at the time, but now, a year later, I hardly don't remember the movie except for the creature design and the setting.
I do remember it being kind of shocking. Like, what they're doing, I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, when it gets to unraveling the story and all that.
I was like, oh. But yeah, it's on Amazon, Wasn't bad. Wasn't great. But, again, I've seen worse. So, not a bad one to throw on into your October rotation if you're looking for something you haven't seen,
And it'll also put you in the mood with the setting too. So I agree with that. Just get to it when you can. But like that said, if you just for some reason miss it, not the end of the world. Try again next year. So those are those 2 movies. So we will finish these last 2 movies, get their own solo deal because they deserve that right. And this one we'll go ahead and go with is Five Nights at Freddy's, released on October 27th of 2023 in the theater. And it was one of those movies where you can watch it on Peacock that very same day as well, which I had to utilize the Peacock on that one. But if you want to watch it now, it is on Amazon Prime Video, and the audience score for Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 86. I don't believe it should be that high, in my opinion, but this movie was the absolute worst theater experience I've ever had. Because first off, it was packed. I don't mind a packed theater, but the problem was it's fucking teens. Anyone below over the age of 18 was at this fucking movie because they were a fan of the game, and they were talking so fucking loudly, and they were all trying to be the stars of the entertainment of the show versus letting the movie do it. So me, my best friend, and his wife, we all left. We got food, and we went back to my house and watched the movie. And I had a lot better time with it then because I thought they did a great job saying the mood and atmosphere, especially with the store. I thought the animatronics, for the most part, I think they were good, not great, but I thought they were just good. And not just thought like just a shock value at the end of the movie. I thought it was really solid, well done. So I enjoyed the movie at home, but at the theater, it was a complete shit show. So Destiny, any memories about Five Nights at Freddy's?
I did not like this movie.
And why is that?
I don't know. I just didn't like it. I watched it the day it hit streaming. My brother is a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, so he was really excited. I was not super excited. I was just like, whatever. Went into it. I didn't like it. I have no connection with any of this, though. I don't care. Watching it, I didn't care. That's how I felt the entire time. I didn't care. It ended. I was like, I don't ever care to watch that again. So, yeah, it wasn't for me. I just didn't care. But my brother, I think he liked it. And you know what? If he did, I'm glad. And
Awesome.
He's getting something Five Nights at Freddy's for me from Christmas. Probably like a poster or something. Because he loves Five Nights at Freddy's. So, I hope he liked it. I knew going into it, I wasn't probably going to have the most fun with it. I do like Willy's Wonderland. Like, that's, similar vibe. I had fun with that one. But, yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm about to say, how'd you okay? Like, I didn't know there were sluts at Chuck E. Cheese.
But yeah, it wasn't my favorite. And I like Josh Hutcherson, so I was really excited to see him. And Matthew Lillard, of course.
Yes.
No, they're good in it. I'm not going to sit there and say like they're bad, obviously. It's just I just didn't care for the movie as a whole. But I did like them in it. I feel like everyone was well acted. It also has Beck from You. Oh my god. I just remembered that.
Mm-hmm. It did. Was she the officer?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
Crazy. But wasn't for me.
Did you? And I agree with some people in the chat here saying they rather watch Willy's Wonderland. I absolutely agree because I love Willy's Wonderland. Brad and Chris fucking hate Willy's Wonderland because they love Nick Cage and they want him to talk. So when they saw that movie, they were highly disappointed.
I think it's fun, and Nick Cage is kind of hot in it.
And plus, you got to admit, you want one of those grape drinks.
I hate grape. Absolutely not. Hate
what?
Grape. Grape is disgusting.
Oh my god, grape sprites are fucking incredible.
Nasty.
Oh,
it's
come
like
on.
cough syrup. You crackhead.
No. I am a crackhead. Especially when it comes to those drinks. Especially if you give me a watermelon Sprite, I'm definitely a crackhead for that.
Watermelon.
Yes, watermelon's the shit. Like in a good way. But Brad hates Prey at Night. His vote doesn't count. Yeah, fuck you, Brad. So, Brad, if you're watching, enjoy that cigar for us Tennessee fans. But all right, that is Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, last question. Any interest in playing the video game?
Yes, actually. That I would check out. I am curious about that. Because I don't really play a lot of horror games specifically, but especially like scary games. Because like I play Texas Chainsaw, and like that is like scary in a way that's like heart racing, and there could possibly be jump scares, but it's not really like heavily on that. But something like this where it's like that, I would be curious to check out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, sure. Like if someone had it and they're like, "Hey, you want to try this?" I'd be like, "Yeah, why not?" But like, I'm not gonna sit there and probably just
play it.
on my own. Yeah.
Or you could pull one out of my playbook. I sometimes like if I can't get access to the game, I just watch somebody else play it on YouTube, and it's like I'm enjoying the story.
Yeah, there is Spooky Astronauts. She's a horror YouTuber,
Mhm.
but she also now does like streams for like horror games. So like
Oh,
I would
nice! I
watch
didn't
her
know
play
that.
it. Like that would be fun, you know. That's fine.
Nice.
Sure.
And if there's one horror game I do suggest to you before the movie absolutely shits on it, it's Until Dawn. That's my all-time favorite horror movie game, and it's a game where you try to just survive your characters, try to survive as many as you can. And I was near perfect until I fucking sneezed because you were supposed to keep your controller still. That was the goal of the game before it lasted. The Windy Go-Go's, not Windy Go-Go's. Is it Windy Go-Go's?
Wendigo.
Wendigos, yeah. Those were the creatures in the game, so I had to hold the controller still as they are coming by each character. And my favorite character, I didn't care about any other character besides Hayden Panettiere's character, because she plays the character in one that is a voiceover, was just trying to keep her alive. I fucking sneezed and she died. And so I kept everybody else alive besides the one person I really wanted to keep alive. So I was so fucking pissed off. But I do highly suggest you play that game because the story's really good. And from what I hear from the movie they're about to make next year, and it's done wrapping up filming, it will not follow a good part of that story. So highly suggest you play the game. Or anybody else in the chat, play the game.
All right.
So, yeah. I know. I fuck things up. We've been talking for a long time, so my mind's just fried at this point. So let's go ahead and wrap it up with the last movie, with a movie that really just shocked everybody with how great it was. When Evil Lurks, released on the internet on Shudder on October 27th of 2023. This is available still on Shudder, and it has now made its way to Hulu. Definitely won a lot of real horror awards for this current year. Like for the show we did this year, it won a lot of awards, and it rightfully deserved that. So, Destiny, finish us with this last movie. What did you think about When Evil Lurks?
This was definitely one of my favorites. It was gross. It was so nasty. It was shocking. It was just like, what the fuck? Yeah, the scene with the dog is crazy. There's so many scenes in this movie that's like, it was like back to back. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it's crazy. It's gross. I really enjoyed it though. It was so nasty. This is one that I waited for me and Brayden to watch, and I just remember both of us just being like, oh my God, I cannot believe like we're seeing this. And it was like it's a possession movie, but it was done in kind of like a different way, I would say. And it was just so, again, it was so gross. It was so gross.
But it was so
I definitely think it's worth the resubscribe, honestly. I mean, Shudder has so much.
And it's on Hulu too, so if you have Hulu.
Oh, and if it's on Hulu, it might be on Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Disney.
those are also connected, so... and it does hold up, I would say, because they did re-show it on the last drive-in. So I watched some of it again for the last drive-in. And yeah, I still think it's great. And it sticks with you. There's a lot of scenes that I'm just like, so yeah, I really enjoyed it.
No, I really enjoyed it too. Definitely a real horror award. Like every right to be. And yeah, like Gavin said, the dog scene. That was the scene that literally made me do this. Like that. And I had to pause the damn movie to recontrol my heart rate because it was out of fucking control. Because I was not expecting that jump scare at all. It's definitely one of the best jump scares out of like the last 5 years for me. I thought it was that fucking... plus, it wasn't a jump scare just to do like, it was actually a really unpredicted jump scare that just fucking worked. And then the other thing I remember too is this particular person walking in the middle of the street eating a certain snack. That thing was like, what the fuck was that? Like just so many what the fuck moments, but again, in all the best ways. When Evil Lurks, like Des said too, like if you don't have Hulu, don't have Shudder, it is worth resubscribing to Shudder just to watch that movie by itself. If you just want to pay $6 a month just to go watch that movie and then cancel, that's well worth it itself. When Evil Lurks, badass movie.
Yep, I agree.
So, all right. And did you have anything else, or did you have anything for 2023?
Mm-mm.
Perfect. So that is all the movies we just did. So let's wrap it up real quick with the worst and the best, and we will get everybody on out of here for this special. The worst of October is a tie with the critics of Rotten Tomato of The Gallows Act 2 and Wrong Turn 3 at a 0. VHS Viral with the Rotten Tomato audience 13. Stan Helsing dominates IMDb, and then Wrong Turn 6 on Letterboxd. So these are the movies you absolutely stay away from. Don't entertain the idea. Do not watch them. And then we got our best of October we talked about, and the Terminator dominated the board, except with a tie with Nosferatu with Letterboxd. So definitely check out the Terminator, and definitely check out Nosferatu. So Des, any if you could just suggest maybe one or two movies we talked about today, which is
God.
48 movies we talked about. I know it's a lot of movies, but if there's one in particular you can remember to suggest people to watch, what would that be?
Well, like obviously Black Christmas if you haven't seen it, which I'm sure a lot of people have. The Mutilator, it's not super amazing, but if you haven't seen it and you want to watch a cheesy slasher, go ahead. Scooby-Doo the Witch's Ghost, if for some reason you have not seen this movie, it is absolutely a classic and you need to. And I mean, Trick or Treat, I feel like most people have seen that. The House of the Devil, I know some people said they haven't. I personally like it. The Taking of Deborah Logan, again, personally, I am a big fan of that one. So yeah, there's quite a few. Those that I mentioned for sure.
Now, thank gummit Misael, you son of a bitch. You joined us when it was too late, but I just came with you. I knew you had a busy day today. So what's going on there, Misael? And then I'm with you, Vo. It's going to be House of the Devil and taking of Deborah Logan. Yeah, God, my mind's out there. I'm just like you. We're about done. So, anything else you want to talk about before we close this out?
No.
Awesome. So, yeah, we've been here for almost 3 hours. So, again, Destiny, thank you so much for staying a little bit extra to cover this big October special. Austin, if you're still here, I will get to contact you here shortly about your $25 gift card. Congratulations on winning our lucky spin on that. We do not have a November date, but we're going to just enjoy the rest of this October season. And then November the 1st, we'll try to get a date out for you for the November episode of Back from the Dead. We are going to go ahead and close out. We hope you all have a fantastic night. Enjoy the rest of your spooky season.
Good night. I'm losing my voice.
Me too.